In today's episode, entitled Punderland, the crew begins its search proper of Castle Caract, in doing their best to determine the source and hopefully the solution to the problems at Greylock. Things are not entirely as they seem, and the crew begins to discover that not all the answers are going to be as straightforward as they would like them to be. But so far, so good. A couple mishaps here and there. Nothing they can't overcome. I'm sure it'll be fine. We hope you enjoy. Alright. Thank you. Good start. Okay, so today's preamble, before we get down to the game itself, is just to sort of prepare you for this section of the game, because I'll be doing things a little differently than I normally do. So just kind of some caveats and some pleases and don't forgets, that sort of thing. This is, I don't know if it's the biggest crawl, it's probably up there, but it's definitely the most complicated one that I've made for you guys. So my nose will be in my notes a lot more than usual. Normally when I'm playing with you guys, I have a good idea of where we're going and what we're doing, and I don't need my notes a whole lot. That's not the case with this. So just a gentle reminder, as we've gotten super lax about it, but like side chat should just be for truly side stuff. Conversations and out of character stuff and what have you. And if you do anything that augments your character in any way, activate an ability or cast a spell or anything like that, I do need to know about that ASAP for a reason I'll go over in a moment. And so to make sure to keep those kind of actions in the main action so I don't miss them. Don't trust that you can do it in side chat and I'll see it, because I probably won't. I'll be a little more distracted than normal. Now, of course, having said that, be sure to pick an opportune time. Like, don't interrupt whatever conversation's going on. Not that I need to remind you guys of that, but you know what I mean, Jelly Bean. So yeah, be sure to keep game stuff in game for me. It'll just keep us from having to slow down and retcon and go back, and I really don't want to do that. Which kind of goes to point 2. I am content to let you guys play in this little box I've made for you for as long as you want, until you either hit a satisfying conclusion or you TPK. So however it happens, it happens. But having said that, I don't want it to be 6 sessions and everybody be dragging and miserable and what have you. So just kind of remember, you guys are all experienced role players, so those little tips and tricks to keep things moving. If we're in combat, you'll be planning your next move. If the current action doesn't involve you directly, don't wander away and check your email or whatever. You try and stay with us in case you get pulled in at any time, so you can we don't have to recap for you, so you can engage right away. Again, not something that's a big problem with this group, but just a gentle reminder. And I will do my best to keep things moving as best we can. I've got all my stuff together, so I don't have to hopefully flip-flop around too much. And then finally, I will be doing some things a little bit differently than normal. I might send you information privately through the Roll20 chat. If I don't specifically say do not share this information, then you are free to do with it as you will. Hold it, share it, whatever. Yeah, I think I accidentally cut you off. No. But yeah, might send you private messages, which I don't do a whole lot. I may also ask for secret rolls, as we were practicing before the recording. So if I do whisper you to make me a roll, please be sure to use the GM function. And I may also make rolls on your behalf. which is something that I generally don't do in games. I try to keep things as transparent and open as possible, but given the nature of this particular set piece, it's kind of necessary. So I have all your stats written down, which is the other reason why, again, if you're going to do a spell or a class ability that alters your saves or your attributes or whatever in any way, I do need to know about it right away so I can make that note in case I have to do a roll for you. But again, I won't announce those rolls. I won't tell you what's going on with them. I won't even give you any context. But they will be happening behind the scenes, so just be aware. You won't all perceive things the same way at the same time. And that's a big component of that.
That's slightly terrifying.
This whole
We'll
thing
be
is slightly
fine. What's the
terrifying.
worst that could happen?
I mean,
Michael, no!
all of this is slightly terrifying, actually.
So, yep, that's my primer. Again, you guys know my maps suck. So I have tried to keep maps to a bare minimum. I will be describing 90% of what you're seeing and hearing and experiencing. So, again, keep side chat down as much as possible. As far as vocal goes, try not to talk over me or one another. I don't mind clarifying, but the less I have to repeat myself, the faster we can get through this stuff. But yeah, other than that, I think we are prepared and good to go. Does anybody have any questions or anything before we start?
Gary, can you do me a favor and just recap all of that for me?
No. You can listen to it later on the recording. And then you'll go, oh, that's why she was mad at me, because I wasn't listening the first time.
I kid.
I know. Other than that, I'm good. If you guys are good, we can pick up where we left off. How's that?
You
Sounds
mean
good to me.
where a T-Rex barreled through
Yes, where Davynn's Dragon Ball tingled deep inside his body, and you guys busted through.
I think if we find the other 6 of them, then we get a wish or something.
Something like that. Something like that. Okay.
new quest, guys.
Here we go. So, in our last adventure, housekeeping note for those watching at home, whoever, one or two of you maybe, Sid is out, Twinkie is MIA, so Michael will be handling Kern for us today. And Noel, do you want to run Mushnik just
Sure.
in case? Okay. I will give
Good
Mushnik
luck.
to you.
I get to fix his character sheet.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you Mushnik, so you can fix his character sheet.
Why, it's
Of course.
always.
That also means you have to talk like Mushnik.
So just don't stop talking.
Yeah, but you have to do the accent too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Bit of a mix
Do you wanna
between
trade?
Irish and... Bit of a mix between Irish and Scottish.
Because I know you could do him justice.
No, I'm good. I'm fine with being both parts of sexy and T-Rexy for now.
Alright. Yeah, I'll take Mushnik.
Okay. So
I'll just
Noel...
cast silence on him for most of the adventure.
Well, he was pretty quiet the other day, so maybe he's just in awe of Castle Carrock. That's fine. A lot of people are. All right.
God, the sheet.
So yes, try to stay with us though, Noel. I know the sheet is distracting. Try to stay with us.
I will.
As
No
much as
worries.
you can. All right. So at the end of our last adventure, the team busted through, literally busted through, going through the open door and straight into the closed wall of Castle Carrock, with a sexy T-Rexy in the lead and everyone scrambling quickly behind him. Now, you were all able to make it into the sort of opening hallway of Carrock, with the group, plus your Lightbringer friend, who you recall is with you, Captain Cat, and Gayle in tow. So a lot of you crammed into this hallway. Now that you are inside, and the literal dust has settled from the T-Rex size indentation in the wall, you can tell that for those of you who have been here before, Kern, Xylund, and Davynn.
I'm a T-Rex.
I know you're a T-Rex.
I just wanted to make sure nobody's gonna forget that.
No, I don't think anyone could possibly forget that you're a T-Rex. I mean, and you're feeling it because this hall is not built for T-Rexes. Although it is, spacious enough that you can stand and someone can stand next to you. That's about all the room that this hall has to offer as far as width. The walls look similar but different from the first time you were here. Not that you really got a sense of sort of the configuration of Karak because you were constantly being led around by somebody else. And Karak has always been a little maze-like to begin with. But the walls seem to have almost like a shell just above the surface of the stone. It's not something you can touch, it's something you can generally perceive. The mist from the outside corridor seems to have followed you in and is spreading out along the hallway to either side, left and right, which just open endlessly with no doors or turns that you can readily see. There are sconces on the walls and they are lit, but the light in the tunnel doesn't seem to actually come from them. It seems to come from the stone itself, encapsulated by that wavering kind of pearlescent shell that just sort of fades in and out as you watch it. It's mildly disturbing, but not nearly as disturbing as the echoes of voices that assault you almost immediately after passing the threshold of Karak. It's a mixture of background of whispers, occasionally punctuated by a sharp dog's bark or a yell. Sounds like kids playing, and then the next time you hear it, now it's definitely pots and pans falling, but they all have that same reverberating echo effect that gives you no indication of where it's coming from. And then it just fades and sort of merges with the rest of the background noise. You don't see another living soul. What would you like to do?
So I assume that same rules apply here. Ignore anything you hear because it's more than likely not real.
So tunnels to either side, and did you say there's one going forward as well, or?
No, where T-Rex Davynn hit the wall, he
Okay.
Took chunks out of the stone, but it remains solid. So right now, your only passage is the left and right.
Do we
And-
know? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
From our last time here, do we know which way leads quicker to the throne room, or is it just kind of mirror image of each other sort of deal?
They appear to be a mirror image of each other. If you would like to try and remember how you got to the throne room the first time, I will let you roll an intelligence check.
Okay, I'm popping out my fairy. I figure shit is magical enough in here, no one's gonna care.
Okay.
That's probably fair. That's it. I am a T-Rex, and I have an int of 2, so I think I'm just gonna keep on going as far as I can without getting too squished.
Okay, well, again, the wall directly beyond the door is what stops you. So you can either try to continue to bash your way through the stone, or you'll have to turn left or right, depending on what it is you would like to. Xylund with, oh, okay, fine. Fine. From your surprisingly well-remembered mental map Karak. The throne room, the quickest way to the throne room was directly ahead. There used to be a set of doors right where T-Rex Davynn made his indentation that don't seem to be here now.
So is he still bashing against the wall there?
Are you still bashing against the wall, T-Rex Davynn?
Yes, let's say yes.
All right.
Keep bashing, Davynn.
Again, he has two, so...
Shouldn't we perhaps stop him?
There's supposed to be doors right there.
Well, there's clearly not.
There will be in a minute.
So T-Rex Davynn, with another critical success, has successfully managed to bash his head through to whatever is beyond that wall. His head is the first thing to go through, clearly, as there is now a head-sized hole about 5 foot off the ground that he has made. As he continues to push his way through the supports above him that are holding up this stone hallway, do begin to buckle slightly, even under their wavering shell, and you guys can see the dust and very cute. Can see the dust and small stones that he's creating fall and roll off his back, just missing Kern. But he continues to push through until there is a vaguely T-Rex shaped hole now in the wall, like he continued through.
I like to imagine that his head got stuck in the wall for a bit, so we had to stop and pull back and then continue bashing.
I imagine it's a bit of a process. Yeah, head goes through first. There's a moment of confusion where T-Rex Davynn's into brain recalculates.
Who turned him into a T-Rex anyway? Was that you, Lana?
Maybe.
Because I'm not sure. Like, I mean, so far this has been really useful, but I'm not sure it's going to continue to be useful.
We'll only have it for an hour.
Okay, I'm just saying, if these corridors get much tighter, you might turn into a liability more than an asset.
Also, at some
if it comes
point,
to that, I'll drop the spell.
Alright.
At some point, Xylund, you and me both have a moment of complete stun from haste wearing off.
Yeah, Yuri pointed that out to me. I was like, God damn it.
It also might be a liability if he just charges ahead into danger and other sorts of death.
If that happens, I'll drop the spell.
Yeah, so far it's been
I
good.
think he's
I mean, I'm
having a
not
good
complaining
time,
so
personally.
Kern can try to control Davynn's T-Rex form. He is riding him, and his animal handling skill is actually pretty good, so... Not sure if that counts for anything.
You can roll Kern's animal handling, although I'm not sure Kern at this point really knows what the plan is. So it might be difficult to steer T-Rex Davynn.
I mean, he can at least, rein him in.
Yeah,
at least stay still for a bit.
We can step through into the...
Oh my
god!
Oh,
You guys
nice.
are killing me. Killing me.
By the way, Eerie,
Yes.
just as a note, Lily still has mage armor up.
Okay. And that lasts, what, 8 hours?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought that was a continuous one. Yeah, I did remember that. I made a note to myself on that. You guys are killing me with these critical successes. So, Kern, using power of sexy hair and the general sereneness of his demeanor, is able to sort of guide T-Rex Davynn in his push forward. And manages to push forward, so you guys have made it through one wall. And you are faced with another almost identical hallway, the same bluish cast to the stone, the same sort of, again, the mist that rolls through.
Is this familiar? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if this is familiar from my memory, or was there a hallway beyond the door leading further in?
From your excellent memory check, there were several layers of hallway, between entering Karak and getting to the throne room, that you were sort of led through in this weird sort of circuitous route where you passed through a few different waiting rooms, and you were left to wait in different different locations. It would make sense that there was another hallway or two between you and the throne room, since it was such a long, windy route the first time. You're just going the direct route.
So if he bashes through another wall, we'll be getting closer to the throne room?
If he bashes through another wall, he should be at the throne room.
Oh shit. Keep going.
See, I told you this was a good idea.
Okay, I guess.
So he rams, and this time the wall doesn't seem as solid for you, Michael. As you put your T-Rex noggin to the test here, you don't come into contact with stone as you initially anticipated that you would. Or at least Kern initially anticipated that you would, given the grip he has on your neck. But instead, the wall almost seems to roll away like parchment. Now it curls up at the edge, which you all witness as well. That blue shell of light rolls itself back, very similar to a curtain on a theater stage. And you are left looking at the outside of the throne room with a set of wide open doors. And there really weren't any doors the last time you were here, Xylund. There was a waiting room directly outside, and then you went through the door of the waiting room into the Chamber of the Voice, which is center of Karak. So having this sort of double set of doors and the separated chamber of a throne room is completely different than when you were here the first time.
So the throne room is distinct from the Chamber of the Voice?
The throne room is the Chamber of the Voice.
Okay.
That's where the throne sits. But before, it was connected to the rest of the castle through a series of waiting rooms. That's how you got there before. But now, it's just sort of sitting there surrounded by a hallway, almost like its own little moat of hallway, with these double doors leading directly into it. And the doors are open now. You can see the muted throne inside. You can see the outline of the water that surrounds the moat, or surrounds the throne. You can see the bottom halves of the statues of the Seven Sisters that line the back of the throne room.
Okay.
But it's a different configuration than the last time you were here. The waiting room is gone. There was no hallway that wrapped around the muted throne room before, or the muted throne before. That's different. But at least you're here.
This might be an illusion.
Or a trap.
Yeah, or a trap. Or both. I'm thinking maybe this hallway conceals a bottomless pit. Or maybe not bottomless, it doesn't have to be bottomless. Just some kind of pit. So I'm going to try to jump across it to get to the throne room.
Okay, make an athletics check.
I'm going to take a running jump, try to clear the hallway and get into the throne room.
Okay.
Athletics. I am super good at this. Well.
Yay! So you leap across the 15-foot hallway. And
in my
kinda,
plate mail.
Yeah, kind of clamber to a stop inside the open doors. And you are in the Chamber of the Voice, the throne room of Karak, standing before the muted throne. Everything in here looks kind of as it did, except it has that same kind of weird blue pallor to everything. The braziers are lit, the sconces on the walls are lit, the fires at the foot of each of the statues are lit, but even though the flames look normal and red and well fed, the whole room just has a weird blue light cast to it. And there's nobody on the throne itself as it sits in the center of its little moat of water.
Hey, Lily. I think
Yes?
you should go sit in the throne.
I think I'll avoid that, but I am gonna kind of cast my eye around and see if I can, I guess, discern if any of this is an illusion or not. look for the telltale signs of illusory work.
And since we seem to be at least somewhat safe, would it be safe for me to assume Kern can put his armor back on? Because him naked is not a good time.
Him naked is
for
not good. No. Kern should
armor.
probably put his armor back on. Yes. Again, you don't see anybody either in the hall that you bashed into, in the third hallway that Xylund jumped across, or within the Chamber of the Voice itself. So far, everything has been completely empty. You hear voices, and there's a strange sort of vibration to everything, but you haven't seen anyone. So Kern can most definitely take the time to put his gear on, especially with help. As far as the telltale signs of illusory magic, what precisely are you looking for, Lily?
I'm looking for kind of like any wavering in the image. Once I'm in the throne room, I'm gonna try and get a little closer to things, see if there's any falseness. You said that the firelight, even though the fires were lit, they didn't really kind of illuminate the gloom or anything.
Right.
So I just want to, especially if either Kern or Xylund or Davynn, well, Davinn's a T-Rex.
Davinn's a T-Rex.
If either Kern or Xylund can kind of say what's different about the throne room, compare the things that are different.
Mm-hmm.
Just going through the process of trying to see if any of this is actually an illusion.
Well, everything's different. Like, not super different, but slightly different. So either everything's an illusion or everything's been remade.
Yeah. So.
And as far as the usual sort of like quaveriness that illusion magic tends to have, everything has that. It's all got that. You said it's almost like everything has got a second skin made out of that pale blue light that sort of wafts about half a centimeter away from the actual object and just sort of undulates there. But you can touch the wall. As you saw, Davynn clearly met resistance. He hit something solid enough to bash it through. And,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, you heard the clang when Xylund's boots hit the floor. So, who's to say?
A thought just struck me.
Everyone, don't forget that we have telepathic communication via cat.
Oh, yep.
Does anyone want to hear my brainwave?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Brainwave.
They are surprisingly accurate.
Okay, so I think that Nisali is connected to... Well, she's obviously connected to Karak. But I think that it's almost alive now. Like, they're connected almost symbiotically. I think that it learned from Davynn bashing through the wall and maybe overheard us talking about getting to the throne room because she's kind of psychic. And so that's why the wall peeled away. And rather than making us go through a waiting room to get here, it was just like, here's the throne room. I think it's responding to what we want. Or trying to prevent us from hurting it more.
I'm not entirely sure if that's the case.
Why not?
And if perhaps we wanted to see Nisali, maybe that would help?
Colonel asked Xylund if he could do his detect magic-y thing.
Yeah. It'll take a little bit.
I can do it when I'm not concentrating on a T-Rex.
I think I have to cast it as a ritual. Hang on. Yeah, as rituals, so like 10 minutes.
Is that what you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'll wait for that.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
So,
During this,
I was gonna say while Davyn's doing this, go ahead, Lana. What would you like to do?
I was gonna give this room the ball bearing treatment real fast and just sort of, make sure the floor is all there, put my hands on basically everything.
Just gonna go around touching stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Davynn is
That's
going to
good.
have the best sit that he can manage as a T-Rex and impatiently whack his tail against the floor.
Now, is Kern still astride?
Not after
Davynn?
that, I think.
Let's say no, not for now.
Okay, alright. So Kern is on his feet and in his armor. Xylund, you are concentrating on your spell. Gayle is probably sticking very close to T-Rex Davynn. Your light carrier is still with you.
Oh, actually, while we're here, is it possible for Kern to give a look over Cat and also the Lightbringer's wounds, since they both got hurt in the fight outside?
Yeah, because Kat did get a little concussed, and we kind of need her at the top of her game here.
Yeah, Cat did get a little concussed. So Kern, you can certainly do that if you'd like. Do you want to roll medicine, or are you actually going to use a spell?
Let's use medicine first, since...
Okay.
Yeah.
You have time, so medicine is fine. Does he have a
Kern.
healer's kit at all?
I don't see one in his inventory, so no.
Okay. So he can get him bandaged up a little bit, at least.
Do they look like physical wounds? So they don't have any like special thing about them, or is Kern can tell?
As far as Kern can tell, they look like normal wounds. The light carrier looks like she got slashed up pretty good. So bandaging will stop bleeding there, and she did get a little bit of healing magic before from Gayle as well. So she's doing okay. Cat, physical wounds look minor. Yep, you got a healing word into her as well. Yep. So like hit point wise, she's okay. Now she's bandaged up. Cat, first of all, doesn't really like to be touched, so she reluctantly lets Kern kind of do his thing, while kind of giving him a look. She seems to be okay physically, other than towards the end of the examination, her nose starts to bleed again, and she quickly pulls a stained handkerchief at this point to deal with that. Lana, what exactly do you want to touch?
Everything, but that throne in particular, after dropping some ball bearings on it first.
You want to go up to the muted throne?
Of course I do.
I'm gonna go with her, and before she touches it, I'm gonna try and see if there's anything, any kind of writing or runic, anything on it, anything that might denote enchanted object.
Okay. You can roll an Arcana if you'd like, Lily.
I am really good at those.
Hey!
God damn the crits.
Yeah, what's going on? We're
Use
so
them up
boned
now. Use them up
at the
now. It's fine. Yes, as you two approach the muted throne, going down the little bridge that crests the watery moat that surrounds the muted throne itself in the center of the Chamber of the Voice. Now, this throne is old. That's incredibly obvious, especially the closer you get to it. And it is indeed just absolutely covered in writing. Some of it is magical in nature. Quite a few are spells of protection and dedications in Draconic to various deities and various people. But as far as anything like a glyph or anything like that, there's nothing that warns you necessarily from sitting here. The writing does seem to be protective in nature, but more in the vein of blessings upon the people who sit, dedications to individual gods for individual rulers, calls for wisdom and things like that for those that sit there.
Now, the individual dedications, typically the ones in Draconic, are there any to potentially dragon deity of any kind? Maybe one that changes colors and is
How
slightly
well
see-through?
do you know dragon deities?
I feel like I would know the. So I am am I proficient in... So I'm not proficient in religion, but I do have a pretty sizable bonus to it. So I assume I'd be at least familiar with, like, the basics, if not anything super in-depth.
Well, you can roll your religion.
I will do that. That's not bad at all.
Nope, that's not bad. What were you saying, Lana?
Oh, I don't think it's necessary, but I was going to say I'm a bard with a dragon obsession, so I'd probably have some idea.
Yes. No. In looking over the draconic ones, the names that come up don't strike you as a deity that you're familiar with. Now, Lana, as a bard with a dragon obsession, you can roll an int check if you'd like.
Gotcha.
Okay. There is a name carved on the throne, 2 names that catch your attention. I will type them in chat. Puppy taco. Make sure I am giving you the proper information here. I wrote this down so I copy paste.
Oh. Hello, friend. Haven't heard that one.
Lanfryd and Xylund.
Oh wait, that does sound familiar. Have I heard that?
I don't know, how get your history?
I'm concentrating on my thing, so I'm not
Okay.
even part of this. Sorry.
All right.
What do I know about these?
From those 2 names, which are clearly marked, you do know their story. Wulfrun is actually one of the statues in this very room. She was considered the founder of Greylock. She was a warrior and a dragon slayer from the Ice Crown Mountains that slaughtered her way down the rise until one day when this scourge of dragons met one that talked to her. The dragon's name was Xylund. And the 2 of them talked, and the dragon promised her even greater wealth and power, and even greater following than she already had. And they soon became allies, and then friends. And with the 2 of them working together, they sort of tamed the area that would eventually become Greylock in this valley of the Elven Rise. And when Wulfrun and Xylund died, they died within about an hour of each other. And Wulfrun's last wish was that her coffin be made of the bones of her dragon. And both she and that dragon bone coffin were buried under Wulfrun's stronghold in the valley of the Elven Rise, under the building that eventually became Karak Castle.
What do you think the chances are that that dragon outside is related somehow? Perhaps the memory of Xylund herself?
I don't know.
We've already established that most of what we're seeing here, in terms of individuals, the ones we fought outside, were memory. Memory of the Sahagan attack, I believe.
I don't know what
means-
Xylund looked like if she was a multicolored dragon, but
Well, so the multicolor may just be the nature of her transparency, and not really being multicolored in and of itself. We'll need to find more information, but that's at least good information to have. Where do you suppose we should look next for Nasalia once Xylund is finished with his ritual?
I don't know. Hopefully the detect magic will give us a little bit more to go off. I am never opposed to just sending the T-Rex on a circuit, because if he hits any traps, it won't actually affect him. Yeah, that's you! You're such a good boy.
Are you sure they won't affect him?
They'd have to kill the T-Rex, and then anything that's left would spill over.
And if it's not a physical trap?
That would be interesting.
Especially considering his intelligence is rather lacking at the moment, so anything mental he'd be rather susceptible to.
This is true.
I don't think we should discount anything while we're in here.
I know.
Speaking as Kern,
Yes, Kern.
does maybe there was some past plague that visited the city, and a lot of the sickness that's happening is a result of that?
Does Kern have much knowledge of history? Because Kern's not from Greylock.
No,
originally.
he does not. But he's offering a theory because I can't offer it.
This is something Xylund would probably know about.
Yeah, Xylund is actually born here.
And he's got kind of a fixation on diseases.
And Lily
Yeah.
also has a lot about... So since Island's on the ritual, Lily does have a proficiency in history and has read a lot.
Alright, there's Lana's history. Lily, you can roll your history as well if you like. Okay.
Oh, thank
there are actually
God.
multiple plagues that have hit Greylock specifically. It's an old city. It's one of the oldest cities in Iyith. So, yeah, there have been plagues. There have been plenty of plagues, both magical and natural in nature, I guess. So, yeah, the city has been hit dozens of times easily. There was Mummer's Plague and a few others. When the mines were active, we of course had Iron Creep and things of that nature that were a problem. That's it's a yes, but it's not a helpful yes.
And just a quick clarifying reminder: the plague currently affecting the people of Greylock, as it seems to be a plague of the mind, where they think they're sick, but they're actually not.
According to Gayle, yes. They manifest symptoms that the healers can't seem to treat. Traditional treatments don't seem to work. That if they were just to be examined physically, they appear to be healthy, but yet they're still manifesting the complaints of the illness up to the point where they die.
And Gale's still here with us, right?
Yeah, Gale's hanging out with the T-Rex.
I'm
Gale's
gonna-
decided that's where he's gonna be for now.
I'm gonna wave him over.
He's not going near that throne. That's okay. No. So while Gale hems and haws, since it has been 10 minutes, you touch the throne if you want to. Xylund, you had plenty of time to concentrate on your spell. What are you detecting?
Everything. Doesn't it just enhance my vision, or does... So I'll just take a look around and see what's pinging. Everything, I imagine?
It's different. It is. It's almost like that pearlescent skin of light that you saw with your eyes normally is still there, just a little intensified. I also need you to make a DC. Let's see. Yeah. Make an int save, DC 15.
Uh-oh.
Alright. That's gonna be...
Oh, haste has dropped by this point too, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, you guys only had eight rounds?
Yeah, well, we had a minute of it.
Yeah. Take 3 points of, this would be psychic damage for you, Simon.
Is this coming from me looking at things with my detected magic eyes?
That's the only thing that seems to be different. You don't see anything else different in your field of vision. Everything looks exactly the same, just a little bit brighter.
Okay, I'll sort of wince and keep looking around, see if it happens again.
Okay.
The scientific method, everybody.
It doesn't seem to happen again.
Okay.
So, Lana,
I
you
go-
touch muted throne.
I feel like you're giving me a last chance to back out of this.
I'm just
and I'm gonna do it
verifying.
anyway.
All right. You touch the throne, and nothing. It feels like
Good.
a carved wooden throne. You can see the bits on it where like the fur's been worn away towards the back and replaced, and the front part's now all silk, and like it's clearly a very, very old throne that has been in some state of repair for a very, very long time. But nothing happens to you.
Okay. Good.
So you call Gayle over Lily. Gayle will come as far as the edge of the water and no closer.
I'll grab Kern and since he came up with the idea, and if Lana's done with the throne, her as well, and like drag them over to Gayle. Alright, Gayle, this is important to answer. The plague going around, the symptoms that the victims are saying that they're suffering from, are they all the same, or are they varied at all?
They're varied. Some of it looks like mummer, some of it looks like Summer's death. Some of it looks like just like food poisoning almost.
Gotcha. So, but they do look like actual diseases.
Yeah, they're things we recognize for the most part. Because sometimes there's no physical manifestation. You know, like with mummers, you see the colors change and everything, and not everybody manifests it that way. But they still have all the other symptoms, the muscle spasms and that.
Anyone complaining of something similar to iron creep?
Not in my tent, but I didn't see everybody. I mean, there's a dozen different hospitals all working out there. I didn't see them all.
And I think there's a very good chance that you're correct, and that this plague is a memory of all the various plagues Greylock has been hit with. The reason why some symptoms manifest in others, such as the muscle cramping, well, the mind has a very powerful effect over the body. If you feel that something is there, then it is there, even if it's not. Right. So everything appears to be associated with memory, which means it's all the Gescholt stone.
So what you're
Amplified.
saying is we need to blow up all the stone.
The entire city is built out of it, Kern.
We need to blow up the city.
I feel like
This is
that...
not me speaking as Kern.
It might be something that, like, Sid would also say.
See,
out of
yeah, that's
character.
what I'm trying to
Sid
do.
would say, yeah. Sid would say as an aside, yeah.
And then he'd be like, I didn't say that in character.
That was not good.
Regardless, it appears to be amplified somehow. It's possible that Xylund is once again onto something, even if not entirely correct necessarily. But it could be that Nisali, for some reason, her connection with Heroct and with Greystone as a whole, something about that's being amplified and summoning the memories of everything. Memories of fires on ships and in the docks. Memories of perhaps murderers. Some individuals' necks were broken, although no one was able to see any assassin or really anything. And then these plagues going around with no physical symptoms that could not be generated by the mind. The ghosts and the sounds and those we fought outside. Even the dragon, transparent as it is, it all seems to be memory, and Greylock is a very old city.
So Gayle breaks in. So you're saying that Her Grace is doing this? Her Grace
Mm.
wouldn't do this.
I'm not saying that she is, and if it is, not intentionally. Recall what Kat told us about will workers and how once they've established a foothold, then they don't necessarily need whatever anchor allowed them to establish it. And right before the city went to hell, Priestess Bowen did request an audience with Miss Ali. I think it's all connected.
At this point, Kat, who is in the room, as a reminder,
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Cat.
will stride forward, scimitar unsheathed, and point it directly at Lily, about heart height.
Okay, well, maybe let's just get to the bottom of this,
That's a
and
good Kurt.
then we can work out who did what afterwards.
Kat holds up her hand as Kern is speaking, looks dead at Lily, and says, "If you don't watch that mouth, I will break your neck, and you will see it coming. Do you understand me?"
I'm merely trying to solve this.
I asked you a question. Do you understand me?
Lily's gonna just take a moment and kind of stare Kat in the eyes.
Can Davynn, as a T-Rex, take his tail and then, like, wrap it around Lily and then push her away from
Yeah,
Kat?
I was about to jump in between them too.
Well, between Davynn and Lana, I'm sure there can be a minor break.
Oh, I wanted to see how that would play out.
Lily, let's not now.
Look, I'm not saying that she's
Lily.
responsible for anything. I'm
Lily.
saying everything is connected.
Okay.
Cat will break at Lana's sort of, interference and see their sword and walk away. And you hear very clearly, bouncing in all of your minds, as Cat is your link to each other.
Oh yeah.
I will make you forget every spell you ever think you've learned. Do not test me. And she'll go and stand back by the door. Now, arms folded, no longer interested in this conversation. And just
Kern will send a
leans up against
message
the wall.
saying, "We'll get to the bottom of this. We'll make this right."
All right, Xylund. This whole time, while this crew's been talking and fighting and theorizing, you've been staring around this room. You haven't gotten another wave of nausea or anything. No additional psychic attacks, but nothing appears to be much different either. It looks very much like the same room, just a tad brighter.
Can I tell what school of magic is this magic is?
It doesn't seem to be magic.
Oh.
Like it's not.
So it's brighter, but it doesn't need to be magic.
It doesn't read as magic to you at all.
While they're fighting and stuff, I'll just go over and look at the throne.
Okay. And
I
you
already
see,
touched it. It's safe.
You
But
see
did
what
you lick
Lily
it?
and Lana saw. No, she didn't lick it. You see what Lily and Lana saw. It's covered with various runes and phrases and languages and pictures, and again, it's clearly very old.
I'll look around to see if there's anyone who could maybe help me if this turns out to be a bad idea, but they're all preoccupied, so I'll
Yeah,
just
say
shrug,
everyone's kind of doing their own thing.
and I'll sit in the throne.
All right. So you turn to sit as if you're going to lower your butt into this seat. And as it lowers, you hit some resistance. A little pushback against the small of your back. Make a dex save, please. You guys suck.
We're
I
gonna
mean,
pay for
yay! So you stagger forward, but you don't fall or anything. You have enough wherewithal, and are probably paranoid enough at this point to kind of collect yourself and sort of spin so that you're looking at the throne. And shaping very slowly out of the gathered mist that has just sort of been lazily sort of going around the room, it swirls itself up into the seat of the muted throne in pretty rapid succession. And it takes the form of a dude sitting very casually in the muted throne. Like, he's leaning up against one side on his elbow. He's got one foot on the other arm, another foot dangling down, and he just looks like a dude. He's got kind of dark shoulder-length hair, dark eyes as sort of solidifies in front of you, like big, wide, moon type of face, and you know, probably carrying an extra 30 pounds, but he wears a black robe, probably to hide that, and some boots. He's got a ball in his hand, that size of a baseball, that glows bright orange, that he's playing with.
Does it look like the dragon orb?
No, the dragon orb is pewter and has sort of iron etching on it. This is completely clear from what you can see, and glows with its own little light, and it's different from the light of the rest of the room. It's not that same blue pallor, for one, and it also seems to be coming directly from the orb, casting natural-looking shadows on both his face and the chair behind him and the water that surrounds the throne.
Does he seem solid now?
He seems solid. I mean, you can't see through him or anything.
I'll greet him. Hey, I'm Xylund. Nice to meet you. Are you a king?
Well, I am sitting on the throne.
Yeah, but I almost sat on the throne. That doesn't mean anything.
You almost, and he gestures the ball in your direction.
Well, want to fight about it?
Almost.
Xylund, please.
You want to fight about it? He kind of chuckles. I was not expecting this. I'm delighted. Totally delighted that you're all here. Except you. And he looks at T-Rex Davynn. That is a completely inappropriate form. This is a place of history. Have you no respect? He snaps a finger at you. And you're Davynn.
Huh?
Welcome back, Davynn.
Oh! Hi! Who's this person?
See, that's also not as polite as I'm used to.
Davynn, meet King Thronehog.
Hi, King Thronehog. My name is Davynn from Whitfeld. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I am very delighted to see you. All of you. Absolutely. My name is Tem.
Not King Thronehog?
Not
Xylund,
King.
why would you lie to me?
Tem's his first name.
Tim.
Can
Would
I
that be short
can I
for
roll a
something?
bard on this one?
You can roll a
Perhaps-
bard.
What would that be?
Well,
History?
if
That's
you
what I'm
think
gonna
it's
try.
historical, you can do history. If you're just searching your memory, you can do int. Nope.
Yeah, fuck no.
What were you saying
Um,
next?
Lily is looking. As soon as he says Tim, her gaze sharpens and she starts looking at him far more suspiciously. 10. Would that be short for something?
From the back of the room by the door, you hear Cat. Probably Temlacass.
That's what I was thinking.
Who's that?
You hear an exasperated sigh echo through your skull.
Lily is going to send to, I guess everybody, but also Xylund in particular in her head. Tim Lakos is the will worker that Cat has been looking for this entire time.
Oh,
Oh
The
shit!
one who's put all of this into motion, if you don't recall.
So after Lily
And
finishes
I'm gonna
that
hope-
thought,
I'm gonna hope that Cat has being a will worker herself, has some kind of mental shielding on this telepathic communication.
she does not. As mentioned, as Cat is your link, she hears everything.
No,
So-
not from her, but from him.
Oh, no, she hears.
Because if he is a will worker, then, you know.
Oh. Well, as Lily finishes her thought, Tem, from astride his throne, points at her and says, "Aha! There is a smart one here. Very good. Very good. I was afraid I'd have to go into this long speech about who I was and why I was here and why you're here, but you've saved me a lot of time." So,
Hey, you know, if you want to do that speech anyways, I'm totally down for that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Just
no,
want
no.
just want you to know because I totally get the whole dramatic entrance thing.
I'm glad you appreciate it. Not many people do, and I spend so much of my day-to-day having to skulk around in the shadows. It gets incredibly boring. I have been so bored this last little bit, but now you're here. Not who I expected, but I can make do. We can.
Who'd you
make
expect?
do. Well, you know, when the canary sounds off, you expect all the cats to come running in, but the mice will do. So, children.
Excuse me?
Oh, it's not. It just is. It's okay. I respect you. Don't worry. I'm glad you're here to keep me company. So very glad, especially you, young man. Very glad you're here.
Wait, why me specifically?
Then he flips the ball in his hand up in the air, and catches it again. I'm willing to offer you a trade.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well,
For that, it's a very simple trade.
What's yours do?
He looks at you. What's yours do?
Well, I don't have one. I'm negotiating on behalf of Davynn here because he can't be trusted with these sorts of things. No offense, Davynn.
excuse me! Everybody's disrespecting me right now!
I wouldn't take that if I were you, says Tem from atop his throne.
I mean, I won't. What's yours do?
Mine will let you out.
But we just
And-
got in.
Give you whatever else you want.
I'm gonna then send to Davin another mental message saying, "Remember, from what we've uncovered, he's been looking for that orb for quite some time.
Yeah,
I-
I know.
I don't want to know what he would like to do with it."
Also, I feel like we should just talk out loud, he says out loud. Because odds are he probably hears us anyways.
Tem laughs. Alright, okay, maybe he's the smart one. Maybe I misjudged. Although you did walk into a prison with a key, so how bright could you be, really?
Tell you what, show of good faith, why don't you tell us what's going on here?
Oh, I just told you. You walked into a prison.
I
My
mean in
prison.
Greylock in general.
I just told you.
You're being imprisoned here?
I have been kept here against my will. It's entirely unfair.
For how long?
Oh gosh, some time now.
And how did the memories get unleashed?
Well, warden can only keep one set of inmates at a time, you know. She's not entirely there now, is she? One day she'll crack, and we'll all get to go home. But until then, you can stay here and amuse me, at the very least. So, enjoy. And he waves a hand, the one with the ball in it, and you all feel pushed back by Gale Force winds, kern-sized, sexy hair. Gale Force winds. Back through walls that should be solid.
Even Gayle?
Even Gayle gets pushed back by the Gale Force winds. Through one set of walls that should be there and yet aren't. A second set of walls that should be there and are not. And a third set of walls that are very, very definitely there. And as you collect yourselves, you find yourself back at the front door, which is now shut again. Physically shut. Can't even see outside. And the hole that T-Rex Davynn made is gone. Repaired. It's just now a solid wall. The voices and the noises are back. Cat is coughing up something terrible off in one corner. Your Lightbringer is scrambling to find her staff. And Gayle looks like he might have pooped himself at some point.
Cat, are you okay? Is everything all right? Is there some sort of mental battleground happening that we don't know about?
And she sort of spits whatever else she's got coughed up and stands up. And she doesn't look good. She looks pale. She looks kind of sweaty. Her nose has started bleeding again. Because I never did like this place. I like it even less now.
Do you have the plague?
Just you guys. My
Yeah,
eternal
that's
fucking plague.
Well, I mean, I have magic hands.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I've heard her enthusiasm is contagious too.
Well, it appears
But
we
on the plus side, we do
Yeah.
know what's going on now.
took the words right out of my mouth, Davynn.
We're in a jail.
Nisali's still alive, though, it sounds like.
And that's Ollie's busy trying to keep him in, which means she can't keep the rest of this stuff in.
Right.
That would make sense.
So now we just have to... Well, can we help Nisali? Like, what can we do, really? Aside from... I mean, she'll be relieved to see us, obviously, but is that going to be enough? Well, relieved to see me, I mean...
We need to find.
If
So
we
as you
get
guys
to her,
are
Question.
standing and having this conversation, there is the sound of an explosion back towards where the throne room was, back from where you came. It actually vibrates the stones beneath your feet, and you can see, Kat, who has her hand against the wall, her fingers vibrate from the tremor. And echoing through the chamber is Tem's voice, once again, kind of distant, and yet somehow simultaneously right next to your ear. And all you hear him say is, "Oh, that's how the bitch wants to play." And down through the hall, the mist sort of ripples out from your feet, and the images of full-fledged, they remind you of banshees more than anything, but full-sized people go streaming down the hall. To the left and to the right and up through the ceiling and every which way, some passing through you, creating a momentary moment of cold before they dissipate into the walls. So,
That's
continue
not
the
good.
conversation.
we should go find this Holly and baby
Yeah,
help
let's
her.
get a move on.
Yeah.
Now, question. We've already established that Bowen was likely possessed. During the moments when the other is in control, would they retain any memory of what happened?
Who else was controlled? I don't know. I never talked about it.
Because if she knows, it seems like she did something that weakened his cage. It seems that Nisali was able to keep both him and the memories contained quite well for quite some time. So something's weakened the cage.
Well, I thought that it was her mourning of Annie and Corin that maybe distracted her enough to allow this attack.
I'm sure she's been grief-stricken before and did quite well.
Also,
But-
I guess I'm gonna pat the part of me that's holding the dragon orb and say,
I guess that's what she meant by we are the key? As in, we have a key that Tem wants and therefore he will let us in?
I guess that tracks. Actually, that really tracks.
Yes, so, and it was less that he let us in, and that if we have the key, we can enter of our own free will. If we can find out how the cage or prison or whatever was weakened, then perhaps we could undo it.
Or if we could just... I don't know, Cat, is it okay if we kill this guy? Because he's giving me a bad guy vibe.
Yeah, no, kill him.
Okay, yeah, so if we do that, then that also solves the problem, right?
Yeah.
It solves my problem. At least some of it.
However,
Plus, I don't like his boots, so...
Oh my god, right? They're so
Yeah.
ugly.
Yeah, I know.
We'll take him off his body when we're done.
I'm not saying we shouldn't attempt, but I would just like to remind everyone that he broke my sister's spell with a snap of his fingers. He will be unlike anybody we've faced.
Well, we gotta get out of here and fix things somehow, so we'll risk it.
Kern will say, to be fair, I can do that too.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. The spell's not that high level.
And remember, he's not a mage. No matter what you think he can do, he's clearly not a mage. Mage couldn't do this, for one. This, he couldn't. And it'll look like magic, but it ain't magic.
Alright, so the way I see it, we have 3 paths, all
Yeah,
fraught
2
with danger.
Yeah, because our T-Rex hole resealed.
Yeah, you can go
Well,
left,
not
you can go right.
Oh, literal.
Literal
Oh,
path.
figurative paths?
figurative
What do you
paths.
think are the 3 paths?
We can try and find Nisali and see if we can help her somehow, without knowing how, but she might know how we can help.
Oh, well, that's priority number 1, is finding her grace.
We can try and find Bowen and see what exactly was done to cause this and see if that would help us undo it.
That one's probably dead.
Or,
Yeah, I don't think we should worry about Bowen too much.
I think maybe
we-
we should still continue worrying about that one.
or we can fight our way through back to probably the throne room again and try and kill him.
Honestly, I don't think we can do that right now.
What about this this queen or this founder of Greylock Bird below us? Could we maybe enlist her aid somehow? If the dragon's
Maybe.
awake, then maybe she is too.
You want to start
Maybe,
digging a
but these
hole?
Well, I mean, if we
memories-
find stairs going down, we might as well take
Oh,
them.
actually, yeah,
These-
that raises a good point. Why are all the memories that have been showing up bad memories or aggressive ones?
Well, it's not that they're bad or aggressive, it's that they're trapped inside the memory. If you remember, outside, they believed we were Sahagins.
Sure,
And
but like, why are none of these memories helpful? There's got to have been some good things that happened in Greylock. I mean,
No,
I
you
mean,
came from
we-
here.
mean,
I looked at
Davynn, you're-
Xylund.
Davynn, you're right. It doesn't get talked about, but I guess I just told you about the horrible murders and that because it seemed most pertinent at the time. But those aren't the only voices we would hear. We would, before the harbor was shut down, we would see ghost lanterns on the water, which is something sailors do on festival days. We would sometimes hear singing in the city centers. We would hear market sounds at night when there was no market. We focused on the catastrophes because, well, that's kind of my job. But not all the memories are bad.
So,
It seems to be a general
even-
leak.
even the other ones would not respond to us. It doesn't seem like, or if they did,
Right.
it would only be in the context of what was actually there during the memory.
But were there?
I'm gonna draw upon my fanboy knowledge base and try to remember if there are any like significant hero figures in Greylock that might show up that we might be able to go to for help?
Well, Xylund. As
Well,
a
yes, other than
resident-
Xylund.
Well, no, I don't mean Xylund as a hero. I mean Xylund as a resident of Greylock,
Mhm.
and possibly Lana, our resident bard. There are the Seven Sisters.
Yeah, what about them?
The Seven Sisters, the statues in the back of the throne room. The Seven Sisters are seven great figures in the history of Greylock. For various reasons. They all have different stories of their deeds. But according to legend, the reason Asali rules over Greylock is her unique abilities allow her to channel their wisdom. That's why she doesn't refer to herself as a queen, and if anyone refers to her as such, she puts kibosh on it. She interprets the rulings of the wiser voices of the dead for edicts within Greylock. So yes, there are heroes in Greylock's history, including the Seven Sisters.
Are they all? I was going to ask about this actually. Is Hlwflin one of them?
Yes, Wolfen and her dragon.
They're both one. They're both Seven Sisters.
Well, the dragon's not considered a
Okay.
Seven Sister, but her dragon is noted in the histories. But yes, she has a statue in the she has a statue in the Chamber of the Voice. She is considered the founder of Greylock,
Right.
and the original of the Seven Sisters. The way the simplified history is that all of these people came from the same ruling bloodline, but that's actually not true. The last real queen of Greylock, Aneris, kind of made them all honorary members of her bloodline. So that's where you kind of get this idea of like one ruling caste. But yeah, she was the first. She was the original. She settled the area of Greylock. She was a badass.
Well, if Her Grace was able to channel them, then they should still be here in memory form at least.
Are they buried
Well-
here too?
Yes, there is a massive underground tomb, effectively, for all members of the royal family, for all important generals and other notable figures of Greylock. It's sort of like Arlington Cemetery, except for Greylock, and it's directly underneath Carrock Castle.
It wouldn't necessarily be presumptuous to hazard a guess that Her Grace might be there.
Possible. I mean, we should go check it out if we get the opportunity anyway.
Yeah, we should get moving because we are not going to do anything standing here.
Yeah, exactly. This guy
Alright.
might be getting more powerful as we stand around
Yeah,
talking.
Alright, where are we
So-
going?
the answer's always left.
Yep, left.
Left
We-
it will be.
And we look for Nasali and hopefully some of these memories as well. And hope we don't have to fight them as well.
All right.
Or
So-
possibly fight them in a friendly sense.
What is fight them in a friendly sense?
Like to test our strength. To...
Yes, exactly. Because that would be pretty cool.
Not really. I mean, we wear ourselves out in a bunch of.
Alright, fair. Never mind. Maybe
What-
later.
Yeah,
But
later.
also, would definitely also delay us. Alright, well, if nobody else has anything further to add.
Actually, how many of us are there? Maybe they'll challenge us to single combat because there's like 7 of us, isn't there? Pretty close. I mean, cat counts.
Alright, I guess that means that Gayle doesn't count.
Gayle does
And-
not count. Gayle says specifically Gayle does not count.
I don't know. Can I send a mental message to our light carrier? Do you count? Can you fight?
She sends a mental message back. She's actually forbidden to fight.
Okay, so 7 of us. Cool.
Oops, that was the wrong thing. Hang on.
That's okay.
Do you want me to reroll? It's just
No.
-1
No, that's
to that
fine.
roll.
That's okay.
All right, let's go left.
All right, so you guys head off to the left, kind of heading down this stone corridor with Cat in the rear, dragging slightly. It goes on for a little ways. Distance is difficult to measure here because sometimes the turn seems like it's right just ahead, and then 10, 15 feet later, when you think you're going to turn, there's just solid wall there. So after walking for a little bit, you finally do find a turn. It seems to go north, and you walk for a little ways before running into a solid wall.
Can I touch
Touch
it?
it.
Lick it.
I touch it.
It feels like stone.
Something tells me that we're being blocked. Obstructed.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, let's try the other one. I'm gonna start getting a ritual detect magic up too as we wander.
Okay.
Mine's still probably up. Unless maybe my concentration got broken by the big blast.
Yeah, well, yeah, everything got busted by that big blast.
Yeah. Assuming concentration doesn't get broken, we can alternate because it's a 10-minute cast turn.
Okay. So, heading back to the right this time?
Yep.
Alrighty. So you make your way back, and again, it might be 20 minutes or it might be an hour. It's very difficult to ascertain until you get to the bend. This time it appears to be open for a little ways. You can see that there's a wall on the far end, but in between you and the wall, there is one open door on the right-hand side, a little ways down, and what looks to be a shut door across from it on the left-hand side.
I really don't like this feeling of being herded.
Well,
Yep. Unless you want me to turn into a T-Rex again, I think that's what we're gonna have to deal with.
yeah. I mean, I'm always down for that, but
Also, by the way, that was awesome, and we should do that more.
oh, absolutely.
Also, out of character, you
Yes.
can turn other people into T-Rexes, because T-Rex actually reduces my ability to concentrate on haste.
I think that was a one-time thing, if I remember correctly, the turning into a T-Rex.
Yeah, it was a one-time because
Yes.
of shirtless Kern on a T-Rex.
Because it was beautiful, yes.
Just general polymorph
but yes.
note, yeah.
Alright, giant apes it is.
Alright.
They're actually stronger, so...
Yeah, T-Rex was just funny in the moment. Alright, so where would we like to go?
Well, we
Go
could
to the
take the
left
open
that's
door,
closed,
or
or
we could
go
be
to the
obligatorily
right?
defiant.
One's being herded and the other...
Reverse
Flip a
psychology
coin.
hurting.
Flip a coin?
I'm gonna take a look at the closed door.
Okay. The closed door is only... It's only somewhat closed. Set within the door frame is sort of a wrought iron style door, so you can see through it. It's not totally solid. It's got gaps in the wrought iron design, and so you are able to peer through it. It is shut, though, currently, and it is dark beyond that door. There doesn't seem to be any lights. It doesn't have the same blue cast that the outside hallway does.
What can the twin see through it?
Roll your perception out.
Okay.
Not.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay, Lana!
I say Lily doesn't see much, but Lana, Lana, you identify right away. This is a small chapel. There is a set. It's not stained glass; it would actually be storm glass door or window off to one side, and it's actually a fairly small chapel, like you would see within a noble's home. So it's only about 20 by 20. It's just a small sized chapel, but it's got the pews, and there appears to be a door on the left-hand wall if you were to go in and turn to the left, there is another door that leads out of it that is open.
Guys, we gotta get this door open because there's another door.
And across the
Okay,
hall,
fine.
across the hall, gonna glance through the open door, and what can I see through the open one?
Bookcases.
Oh.
It's an exceptionally large room. It is lit, both by the same blue cast, and then there's also, the sconces on the walls, and those fires do seem to be giving off a little bit of natural light as well. There are shadows in this room that you only saw from Thames light orb anywhere else. But this is bookcases upon bookcases, small little study corrals. This is quite clearly a castle-sized library.
Beta. Alright, well, I suppose we should try and get the other door open.
Yeah. I never thought I'd say I miss Ulrich, but
Can we just try to open it?
yeah, well, yeah, first step. This is actually locked.
It seems to be locked. It does not open when pulled.
Well, I can unlock it. It'll be loud, though.
And a spell.
I've got a
technically-
crowbar. I could just use that.
Yeah. And I'm technically half proficient in any given tool.
But do we actually have a set of lockpicks?
I thought we handed them out. Ulrich gave a few out at some point.
Did he?
He gave a set to Corin.
Oh, I thought we
Right.
got one later when he was being sassy about you guys do it. If Twinkie was here, we could ask.
Yeah.
Does anyone have thieves' tools?
Lily doesn't.
Yeah.
Cat does.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, she's here.
Hey, Kat, do you think we can get this door open?
Maybe. It doesn't have a lock. There's no keyhole on this thing.
Oh,
Should I just go ahead and try my very loud
Let's start with Davynn and the crowbar. I also have a flamethrower we could use. Just melt it.
that sounds even louder and slower.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try to crowbar the door open, I guess.
All right. Athletics. Yeah.
Oof.
No. Make a dex save.
Okay.
Okay. So you get a bit of a a rebound from the crowbar as you attempt to get it seated and get this thing open, but thankfully you don't knock yourself in the noggin or anyone else. But you are unsuccessful in budging the door. You just couldn't find purchase with your crowbar.
Okay, maybe not.
Alright. Anything else we should try before I give it a whirl?
Anyone else good at crowbarring?
I can try
I'm not.
crowbarring. We're just trying to get
Alright.
the door open.
Yep.
So Xylund steps forward, crowbars, basically knocks the iron loose from its place in the stone.
Just warning you, Xylund, this is very tricky. You gotta be careful about clink.
Hands it back. So yeah, you just broke the door frame, but you can swing the wrought iron door open.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
that
kick it
worked.
open.
Alright. So you managed to open up the door. You can now go into the chapel if you wish.
Ooh,
Sorry,
oh, yeah.
Nasali, if you are in fact bonded with this place and I'm physically hurting you by doing this.
I think we've established that it's actually Tem that's bonded with this place currently.
Could be two, could be both of them.
Yeah, that would be awkward, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm walking in.
It's like living with somebody that you don't like, except extra living with them.
Yeah, Lily is following Lana in.
Alright. We go inside the chapel. Low wooden pews, a small pulpit, the storm glass window and a wide open door on the left-hand wall. The same wrought iron design. This is split down the center instead of to the side like the other one was, and both halves are pushed outward. Looks like they lead into another hall. No lights on in here.
Wait, sorry,
at
you said there are 2 doors over here?
Well, there's the door you came in from, and then to the left there's the door that you saw while you were
Gotcha.
peeking in, but the door itself is split in the center, so it's got 2
Okay.
French doors kind of thing.
Thank you.
And they're
Well-
both open.
Want to do an obligatory once over of the chapel before we go barreling down the next hallway?
Sounds good.
Not that I'm opposed to doing that, but
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look around, see if there's anything in here of
Okay.
interest.
Kern will assist with his perception.
Yeah, of course you will.
Lily will assist Kern's perception.
There we go.
yep.
Yes, so with everyone pitching in and Kern's general perceptiveness, there's nothing out of the ordinary in this chapel. Everything is very neatly arranged, although everything's got a kind of a coat of dust to it. Like it hasn't been used, but it almost feels like you're in a doll's house. Like everything is very staged. There's no life in this room.
And also no mysterious holy sword that
Unfortunately,
Xylund or
no.
Kern can use to vanquish.
No blessed swords, no Ark of the Covenant, no, no holy scripture that will save the day, no holy hand grenade of Antioch. There's a bunch of wooden pews and some prayer books, and that's it.
Who's
Well,
the
there-
chapel dedicated to?
There's no religious symbol here. Even the the storm glass window is a very generic sort of Tiffany style pattern. There's no religious mosaics. There's no indication of a deity here, which is bizarre. But everything here seems like that. It's all very generic.
So the stained glass doesn't actually depict a scene or anything. It's just a sort
No,
of
it's just
abstract
colors.
pattern.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just sort of a colors
All right.
mosaic.
Well, there went that idea of finding a second MacGuffin in the.
We've got all the MacGuffins we need.
How many MacGuffins do you think there are?
We have
At
one
least
There's
MacGuffin.
6.
2.
They're not 6.
We have one.
You're right,
Uh,
there's 7.
Wait. You said we have 2, Davynn? Michael?
I'm saying
Whatever.
there's at least 2 based on the fact that the other guy has
Oh.
a...
A
Orb.
separate MacGuffin?
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're
Chaos Emeralds,
already
let's
fucking
go.
up. We're already fucking up. We got one of the MacGuffins,
So, Lana, you're going to the door.
Yes.
and I'm gonna check out
Alright.
the other one. Even though,
So
do
you
they
both-
open?
It's the same door. It's just split in the
Okay.
center and opens.
Yeah,
out.
I was just double checking because you're like they're both open. I was like maybe they go to different hallways.
No, both halves are open, but it's one door frame. They're both going in the same direction. It's just in the center instead of being hinged on one side,
Okay.
like most doors. So as you two approach, head for the doorway. Make a dex save, both of you, please.
Oh,
I'm not really great at these.
I apparently am.
Ouch.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Lily.
Why don't we have a rogue?
You had a
Because
rogue!
we drove him off!
He drove
Good job,
himself off.
guys.
All right, that is 8 points of psychic damage to you, Lily. As you attempt to walk through the doorway itself, both of you get a bit of a shock as the door slams shut, revealing a wall, like in between the groves of the wrought iron. And there is not even a low, like, supervillain chuckle, but a raucous, knee-slapping, only heard in the tavern after a pint or two laugh that just echoes through.
Really should have seen that coming.
That there was a wall behind the door?
No, that there was a magical trap.
Oh.
In the future, Lily is going to keep a close, like, she may not be able to find, like, normal traps, like tripwires, but she should at least know enough to be able to spot magical traps, so she's going to keep a close eye out for those in the future.
All right.
And her
Lana didn't get a
investigation is
headache. He doesn't really understand the joke.
Did
No,
we
I'll-
hear the laugh?
Oh,
Everybody?
everyone heard it. Yeah, everyone heard
Okay.
it. Like it was another one of those where it was kind of in the back of your head, but it was also right outside your ears too.
yeah.
It
Is
was
this what it's
audible
like
and yeah,
A
psychic.
cat having to listen to us all the time.
I'm just gonna send a quick message to myself saying, "Hey, I know you're listening to us. Just want you to know you're being real rude right now."
What a... You know what? Nope, not going to say it. Not going to tempt fate. So there's a wall.
Yep.
There was a door that was pretending to be a wall, essentially.
Well,
A wall
I mean
pretending to be a door?
semantics. Technically,
Oh.
there's still a wrought iron door there. It just looks
Sorry.
like somebody put a wall behind it, so you can't
Okay.
even see through it any longer. All you see is the gray stone beyond the wrought iron.
Okay.
Alright, well, shall we check out the library then?
Yeah. That seems fine.
Which is a pity, because if I was going to have an entrance to a tomb, it would definitely be connected to the chapel.
Well, this isn't much of a chapel.
We could T-Rex the new wall, I'm just saying.
Kern also
Actually-
doesn't have stone shape available, but
Does.
yeah.
And while they're figuring out what to do, I'm actually gonna take a closer look at the chapel, see if maybe there's like a trapdoor or a button or something that says, "Hey, this is how you get to the tomb."
Go ahead. Make a perception check.
Perception, not investigation.
Yes, perception. It's not
yeah.
really big enough for an investigation.
There it is. I don't see shit.
They're really, yeah, like I said, you get the impression, even just like looking at the books and things, they're very nondescript. Half the pages don't even have writing on them. A dollhouse is the best phrase I can give you. It feels very staged in here, but there doesn't seem to be any additional doors, trapdoors, or otherwise. Just the one you came in and the one that is now a wall.
Alright.
Do we have any way of magically finding a path towards Nysali?
As
Kern's
in
got
find the
divination.
path?
Kern's got divination, but I think he already used that once.
Oof.
I have locate object, but I don't
Yeah.
know what she has on her.
Kern
if
also
you
has
guys-
locate creature.
If you guys want
so-
to kill some things until we level up, we learn find the path. But
Locate creature should work on humanoids.
I think it's a bit too early to be casting spells to find her. I mean, we don't know what we're going to encounter. Maybe we should ration our arcane energies for now.
Can that not be used as a ritual?
It
with a
cannot, no.
person? No.
Okay.
Incidentally, I think my detect magic would have popped right about now, just for swapping off.
Alright, well, will Kern try and stone shape us through this wall, or are we checking out the
Let's
library?
Again,
check out.
let's
That's
check
a
Yeah, let's keep
that's a
on
really
checking
high
out
level
everything,
spell. Let's just explore for now.
Okay. So the crew is heading over to the library.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. As mentioned, it is fairly large. It is easily a castle-sized library. The bookshelves are numerous. They line the walls. There are also some freestanding ones, standing in groups of 4. 2 sets, one along the right-hand side, one along the left-hand side. They also go basically to the ceiling. In between, you see little little cubby holes, little cubicles, and there is a little bit of light in here. You don't see anybody else, though, and you can hear, in addition to sort of the low drone of voices that accompanies everywhere in this area of the castle, you also can hear the sound of paper flipping and throat clearing and quill scratching on parchment and all the little sounds that you kind of take for granted. You're in a large group of people that are all doing scholarly work.
I'm gonna send Vera on a quick fly around, and to kind of come back if there's a door. Well, I mean, come back regardless, but like, kind of come back and like let me know if there's a door through pantomime.
Pantomime. Isn't
I
she
don't
an
know.
owl?
Yeah. But she can respond to commands.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not like pantomime as in like actual like charades, but basically like fly around and then fly back in the direction of the door.
Okay, so she she flies around the room, and you can kind of see her cresting above the tops of the various bookshelves as she does a loop. And it takes her a minute or two, size of the room.
Mhm.
And then she simply comes back and lands.
Well, there doesn't appear to be any other exits, at least not obvious ones. Any passage that might be here will likely be secret.
Huh. We can
Look
still
to
walk
cat.
around and see if there's anything interesting. We have a good reputation with libraries.
Yeah, gonna look to Cat. Are there anything you would know about secret passages through Greylock? Some of these older castles have them.
Karak is full of secret passages. Yeah, it's an incredibly old building built on top of another incredibly old building. I don't know how many of them still work. Most of the old section of the castle is walled off. Only Nasali goes back there. I mean, Her Grace only Her Grace goes back there.
All right, well, I guess a good starting point will be to see if we can find one in here.
Hell yeah.
Kern turns on lighthouse mode.
So Kern begins to scoot boot, looking for. As you all sort of investigate the library, there doesn't seem to be any passages in the floor. There is one section of the wall along the far wall that seems a little suspicious, but there's no obvious way of open. It doesn't seem to open from this side.
Is there a theme to this library? Like, are the books a certain subject or anything? Or
Oh, well, again, it's a very extensive collection. Seems to be multiple books on maps and other continents. Are you picking up and reading through any, or are you just looking
Yeah.
at the spines?
well, I'll flip through them while these guys are searching.
Okay, so you grab a book. Again, there's sections on magic, there's sections on history and religion. There are massive atlases that look to be homemade, and they're all signed by a name that you recognize.
Mhm.
And yeah, much of her collection is here in this library. Books on zoology, books on natural philosophy, books on shipbuilding, books on so much. History of the elves, history of Akari. Everything's here. What type of book would you like to read?
I'm scanning through the document you gave me, and I know I read it, but which name is it?
It is my paper here. Oh, Lanathea.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'll look at the maps. Or
Okay,
wait,
so
yeah. Yeah, I'll just sort of look at the maps, see if there's any like maps of Karak, I guess, or anything of that sort.
okay, so you pull a book of building schematics or a history of building.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution save.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm gonna pay for this so much.
So you pull a book on sort of building, the history, Karak, and sort of the building of it. And it's a fairly sized book, so you heft it out, flip it open, and as you do, you know what termites look like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They seem to stream from the pages at the point where you open the book and up your arm. But thankfully, you are quick enough to drop the book, and most of the termites go with it, to where the book that you left on the floor, that is now on the floor, just slowly sort of dissolves itself into this mass of termites.
Okay, I'll draw someone's attention. I'll be like, do you see that? Termites?
What? Termites? What?
Ah!
Do they see them?
Oh yeah, they're there.
Okay. All right, good.
They're definitely there.
Ah! I
No,
don't like
pass.
those.
Ag. Start smashing things. I know it can't really attack, but
No.
you can do 5 pounds of weight.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So all you see
I
are
just drop it on things.
they just start smashing like these little imprints of dead termites. Just smush, 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 smush,
Right.
smush.
I'm gonna walk the stacks, just looking at the spines and the titles, then, and see if anything leaps out at me.
I will
Okay.
assist with this endeavor.
All right. As you two sort of scan the stacks, you got Kern helping out with his perception and your great investigation. Nothing else seems to, there's no book that says here is a secret passage. Like, there's tons on history and religion and magic and all kinds of cool stuff in here, but none of it really strikes you. So as you sort of walk around the room itself, the lights begin to kind of gut and flicker, the ones that are actually casting shadows, and the blue pallor seems to take over. And as you pass each bookshelf, kind of making your way back up from your tour around, you catch out the corner of your eye the bookshelves themselves begin to dissolve, much like the book you picked up did.
Okay.
And instead of termites this time, they sort of splinter themselves into bits of paper and almost like a mulch-like quality as each bookshelf sort of dissolves in on itself and reforms, taking in some of the low-lying mist that is just pervasive throughout the castle, wrapping itself up until it becomes an elongated form that kind of stands up on its own, serpentine almost. And when it is done, it is the largest, greenest bookworm you've ever seen, standing about 4 foot, with another 1 foot trailing behind on the ground.
Awesome.
And one bookshelf dissolves into that, and then a second bookshelf dissolves into one, and then a third.
I broke the
You guys,
library.
it's time to go.
Let's go.
Ah!
As we're leaving, as we try to get out, I'm gonna yell out, "Puns are the lowest form of humor!"
So the group decides to bail?
We didn't. There was one suspicious looking wall, you said?
Yeah, there was one section of the wall that looked odd, but there wasn't any discernible mechanism to it. It didn't look like it opened from your side. It looked like all the hinges were nested and it opened from the other side.
I don't want to deal with the worms. How about we make this the last resort room? Alternatively, we can shut the door and throw some fire in or something.
All right. Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
I don't like
I could
bugs.
throw knock at either one of these at this, see if that opens it, or we can try and go and stone shape the other door, but it's the only those are the only options we have left.
Unless the left path has suddenly opened up or something, because that wouldn't surprise me.
I mean,
Let's just
we're
get out of this room, shall we?
If you can
That-
cast knock real quick, and if it's a fairly low level spell, then go for it.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's both low level and instantaneous. The drawback is it creates a noise that can be heard for 300 feet, but
Well, he already
everything
knows.
already knows we're here.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Apparently, we're opening up the passage.
Well,
I'm gonna.
I think
Are
we're
you leaving the
hesitating while
library
he-
first?
Can you cast it from outside the library?
I can cast it from 60 feet away.
But you have to see it. So it
Yeah.
depends on what you're...
Cast it as you run away.
So...
I mean, I can cast it as we're walking by or running by.
Okay, so you're trying to cast it on the section of the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything that's held shut or stuck or barred becomes unlocked, unstuck, or unbarred, so it should open.
Let's see. Mundane.
Or magical.
Well, if it's magical, it's suppressed. This isn't magic, so it wouldn't work. I mean, you can cast it, but it wouldn't have an effect, so it doesn't work. It is instantaneous, though. It takes an action, but
Wait. So it doesn't work because it's because of something about the castle?
Mhm.
Okay.
Psionic, probably.
Yeah, because it. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Because
that makes
it's not
sense.
magic, but it is being held shut by.
But it's not
something.
mundane either. Something else.
Yeah. It's Yeah, it's the psychic thing, I think.
All right, so let's
Okay.
get out of the room.
So the knock does go off, so you do get the sound effect.
And the lost
which-
spell slot.
And a lost spell slot. But the worms are now growing in number and in speed. Are we leaving the library? Are we staying
Oh
in
yeah,
the library?
Yeah.
we're running out of the library. As
Yes,
soon as
we're
we're
leaving.
beginning.
We're leaving.
We're not
There
playing
is
with the
literally
worms?
nothing else that can be done.
All right. So the crew rushes from the library. Cat will shut the door behind you all as a preventative, even though you can still hear something heavy slam against the stone and wood on the other side. It, at least for now, is trapped in the library.
Well, shall we try the other option?
The stone
No.
shape?
I mean, I'm not sure what else we can do. We can
Okay.
futilely go and keep trying the other passages until one of them hopefully opens, but I don't think we'll have much luck with that.
We are going to be tapping our cleric, and we don't know if it'll work.
He can try it at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have any better options?
Let me see
Well,
if
we
this
can
one
take
has
a
anything
quick-
lying around.
Look around to make sure no other secret
Yeah, we
walls
can
have opened up.
try the left side and see if that has changed.
Okay. So where are we headed?
Left.
Left.
Left side. Yeah,
To the chapel?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No,
not
no,
to the
to the-
chapel. Like from the beginning point, we're going left. We're just gonna take a look
Oh, to
down
the
that.
to the block
see if-
wall?
To see
To
if
see if that's
anything changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you wander your way back down to the turning point and down along the length of corridor. There are new doors as you turn the corner and make your way down, but they all seem to be blocked. Like they're door frames filled with stone. There's minor bits of graffiti that have been written here and there, mostly in pictogram form.
What do they look like?
Some show a little face with a long dark hair, just sort of a like Tem was here kind of thing. Other pictures are a little more elaborate and actually done with some artistic flair. Shows a stag being hunted by dogs. Another one shows a flock of birds trapped in a net. Just sort of random little drawings here and there as you go down. The mist in the hallway has crept up to where it's about to your knees. And as you go down the length of it, Kat is beginning to hack up another lung. She's walking with you, but she keeps one hand on the wall at all times and begins to cough.
I
Why
assume
do I-
healing magic won't help you?
And she's fine. Just coughing.
Can I take a piece of charcoal and draw mustaches in all the 10 faces?
Yes. Yes, you may.
Why do I
Okay,
have
cool.
the feeling that these pictures are representing of the animals being hunted or trapped? Why do I have the horrible feeling that those represent us? And nice Ollie, her grace.
Because you're smart. That's why.
I'm gonna offer I'm gonna go up to Kat and say, "Do you mind if I just try laying hands on you?"
You can wait till I'm dead.
It might help. Like, what's
No.
wrong with you?
This place is not my favorite place.
So it's like a psychic thing.
Kinda.
Okay.
Like, imagine having a link with your friends 24/7. Except it's not just your friends. It's everyone you know, everyone you've ever met. And no way to shut it off.
Do you
That's
want to
what-
shut it off?
I can't. That's what being in this place is like.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking about the mental link thing.
No. I can drop it if you guys like. I don't know if it will help or hinder us here.
I imagine he can hear us either way.
Most likely. He seems to know his stuff,
Well,
considering he just kicked the holy crap out of all of us and seems to be in somewhat control of this place, which is more than I can say for me.
Let's just keep on going. We'll find Ice Holly, and then we'll kick his ass as well.
Oh, Darren said ass.
Language.
no.
I was gonna say kick the crap out of him, but then my sentence structure went in a different direction.
Alright.
Now, what is our path forward then? It seems we're being blocked at every turn.
So the left path is still blocked.
Heading down the left hand, and when you do finally make your turn, that wall that was there is still there. Cat seems to hit upon a moment of clarity in between hacking gasps and sends your Lightbringer up to the wall to tick her light there. And even in her lamplight, it still looks solid. So it seems to be real. Or
Oh
real
yeah,
enough.
this light lets us see through illusions, doesn't it?
Some of it, yeah. It's what let you see the four soldiers, the ghost soldiers outside.
Well, maybe it'll help in the chapel.
Maybe.
Let's go to
Alright, let's go back there.
All right. So you guys make your way past graffiti. That is now slightly changed, but along the same motif. A little more than there was before.
I'm gonna make sure to update the mustaches.
Yes. Mustaches will always be updated. So now you're back. The library door. The actual where the bottom of the door meets the stone of the floor on the library, it's beginning to get eaten away. You can see there's about a half-inch gap at the bottom now. That's ragged, and the most uncomfortable sound of chewing. It seems amplified, like it should not be as loud as it is. And yet it is right there from the moment you turn the corner until you're directly across from the library door. It's all you can hear. It drowns out every other sound.
This is not ideal.
Maybe they're chewing a path to the basement. If we just leave them alone for a little while.
I think maybe I should perhaps set up a dome similar to what we've used in the past, outside the door to prevent them from making it. Once they get through the door, we don't want them getting any further.
They can probably go through a different section of the wall.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure we could take them, I just don't particularly want to.
Yeah, if we don't have to, I don't see the
Yeah.
point.
Alright.
But if we run out of things to do, maybe we'll do that.
Cat looks.
Let's check the chapel with the light.
Alright. Going back into the chapel. Your little druid friend kind of hanging towards the back. She's not really sure what you want her to do.
Just go up to that stone door there.
Kind of walks
Please.
up next to it and shines her little staff over it, and it catches the light gets caught in the wrought iron, but it doesn't seem to change.
Alright, should we stone shape this thing?
Okay, so let's, like, there's a possibility that I'm missing something here that would help us forward, so I'm just going to take a moment to give everyone as much knowledge as I can about the Seven Sisters of Greylock in the form of this document. Because I keep going over and over it, and I'm not sure. Like, maybe I'm just missing something, but I don't see what I'm missing. So yeah, if you guys want to take a minute to read that, we can take a break here, because I got to reset the recording anyway.
Yeah, we are getting to that point, so.
So-
why don't we do 10 minutes and then come back?
Sure, that works.
All
for
right,
me. Is
sounds
that all right
good.
with everyone? Okay.
You didn't touch anything in the library.
Yeah, I got beaten to it.
I was
Not
proud
for
of
lack
you.
of trying.
Yeah.
For any users who are listening to this intro after we came back from the break, all of those things are exactly what you think they are.
No.
Oh dear.
And if they weren't
Anyway.
before, they are now.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh dear. Okay, so we're back. We're in the chapel. Your Lightbringer friend has shown a light on the door, only to reveal it to be a door. Xylund has given story hour to the group about the history of the Seven Sisters, sharing his wealth of knowledge about the history of Greylock as a native. What would you like to do?
Give
He's
you
also
this new
kind of a-
knowledge.
Hmm?
I imagine he's also kind of a Seven Sisters fanboy as well. In his own
Probably.
way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a point of pride for Greylock, and yeah, it's also like a real life ghost story. You know, like some people don't truly believe that the Seven Sisters talk to Nasali. They
I
think
do.
it's just a cover, but yeah, I'm sure Xylund does though.
Well,
So,
Oh.
Xylund's crush on Nisali is more just a crush on 8 people at once.
He's
Okay,
More
let's
the
keep
merrier.
walking, guys.
so I guess all that's left is to try and get through this stone wall pretending to be a door.
I suppose so.
Some
I'd
point
offer to
we-
crowbar it, but I don't think I'm gonna be that strong.
Do we have any other ways of breaking through?
Stone shape.
T-Rex.
Equal level spell slots.
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah, Mushnik also has polymorph flying around. But we
No.
could just try hitting things with a crowbar first.
Well, we
Give
need
it
a
a
pick
shot.
to get through a stone wall, wouldn't we?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I could try acid, but I don't have near enough to get through a wall.
I have a shovel, but I don't think we can dig around it.
I have a lot of weird crap, but I don't think any of it'll.
I have a grapple gun.
Alright, let's just try stone shape and see how that does.
Oof.
Note to self,
Okay.
in the future, create some explosives when going on a castle delving mission.
Okay, so yeah, Kieran's gonna take a step back and try to make the wall into a door again.
Wait,
As-
hold up.
Okay, wait.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'm gonna pull out something that I just remembered I had. Called the Wand of Secrets.
No, what's that?
Oh
do?
my goodness.
Oh my god.
The Wand of Secrets How do I get this to just populate in chat? I'll just copy paste. I mean,
Oh,
can't hurt.
no. Do it.
Yeah, let's do that.
And Lily is going to give it a bit of an arcane flick and whirl. And
Swish and flick.
precisely. And look for secret door or trap within 30 feet of me.
The only thing that reacts within 30 feet of you is the stained glass mosaic behind the pulpit.
Huh. That wasn't
Alright.
as much of a waste of
Okay.
time as I thought it would be.
Almost touched it immediately. Instead, let's throw something at it.
Well, let's
Karen,
touch it first.
Kern will not
Well,
do the stone
no,
save for
no.
Yes, save your spell slot.
I'll just
Shall
launch
I-
a coin at it.
You're gonna toss a coin at it?
Yeah, just to see if
Okay.
it, vaporizes.
Okay. So you toss a coin at it, and it hits glass. It's a very discernible clink and minor shatter as you crack.
Some kind of a rock.
I want to take a closer look at the glass first.
Oh, before I destroy it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, what's actually on the window?
It's just like I said, it's got kind of that Tiffany pattern of color, so it's just
Yeah, the very-
multicolored stained glass style window, but there's no overarching picture or decoration to it. It's just sort of a myriad of different colored bits.
Now, is it completely opaque, or is it at least, or is it kind of like the stained glass where you can kind of see through it, but
No,
not
it's
really?
totally opaque. It's totally opaque. The only reason you even noticed any changes was because it began the glass began to emit a little bit of light on its own, but you still can't see through it.
Okay. And I want to see if there are any hinges or any sigils or glyphs on it or around it.
Okay. You can do perception if you like. Hold on.
I'm gonna ask Kern for help,
Just make
Kern
Kern
will
do it.
assist.
and I will
Assist. Well, it sits flush against the stone wall, so there's no hinges or anything to it that you can see. It doesn't seem to open. It seems to be attached directly to the wall, and there's no arcane marks or inscriptions or religious indication to it at all. It just seems to be a piece of art attached to the wall.
And the wand pointed to it, definitely, and not like something around it.
No, it not only did it indicate the window directly, but the window began to emit a faint glow of its own that it was not doing before, because there was no light in here at all before.
All right, well, if none are opposed, sister, you may now smash the window with your rock.
I will smash the window.
Okay.
I'm not above this.
A lot goes to town, goes ham all over that window.
Works out some pent up aggression.
Yes. Just
Is there a-
smashing the holy hell out of these panels as they fall and break, and behind each and every one of them is just more of that same gray stone. But when you're done, smashing all the bits, and they are all on the ground, these jagged little bits of color at your feet, and all you're left with, yes, destroyed priceless artwork. Who knows how many centuries old stained glass you have now broken. And all that is left is the sort of lead solder outline that held it together that's still attached to the wall. The blank space where the glass was fills itself with that same sort of light that got blinked out when all the glass got shattered, but now is making a sort of that same archway shape as it fills the old frame, and an entity emerges from it briefly, just kind of catching your eyes. It passes through to the center of the room, It's somewhat intangible, almost like it's made of mist itself, but it has a glow of its own. It brings with it. It lightens the entire room as if someone, lit braziers in every corner. And it is a large stag. Takes up most of the center of the room, passing through and past all of you with a massive array of antlers, all sort of twisting together. And it stands there for just a moment.
Something about that.
So it's just standing in the middle of the room?
Momentarily, yes.
Is there any kind of symbolic significance of stags with Karok or Nasali?
With Nasali, there is.
Oh,
Okay.
let's hear it.
That's her symbol.
Oh, okay.
That's always been her symbol.
I'll go pet the stag then, or hold
Likewise.
up my hand.
I will try to address it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Feeling a little silly doing this, but can you take us to Nasali?
And
Any response?
Davynn, you're trying to pet it as well?
Well, I'm just approaching with my hand held out so that I don't startle it. I'm not going to go and touch its head without permission.
Okay. So as Lily speaks and Xylund stretches out a hand, like in Legend, like he's going to touch the unicorn. Which if you haven't seen, you better see that movie or I'm kicking you out of the game.
Xylund's always been nicer to animals than people.
Yeah, Xylund likes animals better.
Except for owls.
So in
And
that
cats.
moment,
And rats.
the light
Magic rats.
gutters.
Well, actually, any rats.
And flying from the same space that the stag emerged from, and you can see that it actually starts the stag. Its hooves sort of jabber across the floor lightly. The baying of hounds wafts through that open space
I say
where
we
the window
defend the
used to be.
stag.
So
all
the
of-
baying of hounds is coming from the glowing arch left where the
Right.
window was. Okay, I'll draw my mace.
Alright, weapons out.
Let's go, guys.
For Lily, it's less of weapon out and more book out.
Or behind the men with weapons.
I mean,
As,
both. Both.
I kind of want to imagine Xylund and Davynn pulling their weapons out at the same time and looking over each other and giving each other a nod.
Oh, yeah, very buddy cop. Very buddy cop.
And we're getting between the stag and the window, I imagine.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe like clanking shields together for the
Well,
phalanx
I
or
mean-
something.
Xylund will follow you so far, but that's one step too far. You hold out your shield for him,
Okay.
and he sort of shakes his head.
It's like a fist bump, but with a shield.
Oh my
Real
god.
simple.
One step at a time, buddy.
Okay, fine.
So the sound of baying hounds gets closer, and very faintly twisted into it is a bugle call. Very familiar to those who have been hunting. And the stag seems to hesitate, but as the muzzles of the dogs breach the stone wall and enter the room, the stag takes off. You can hear it, its hooves clattering along the stone. And the dogs that come through pay you absolutely no attention. Davynn and Xylund, since you are in front, I need you guys to make intelligence saves.
Oh, I think we get
Okay.
you get a bonus because you're right next to me.
Alright, yeah.
My curse
Cool.
with a bonus.
How much
You
is
get
it?
the bonus too.
Plus
then.
2.
17 then.
Okay.
Is it only plus 2? Let me check. Yeah, it's plus 2. Do I get the bonus? I forget.
Yeah, you do.
I think it's
Okay.
already been applied to your thing.
No,
Unless you have proficiency in int saves.
you're right. It has been applied. Okay.
Okay. So 16 and 17, as the dogs pass through you, completely through you, These are not the white, misty things that you guys have been running into. They are dark with bright red eyes. And
Familiar at all?
They're not the mastiffs. These look more like wolves. They're lower to the ground. They're a lot shaggier. They have very defined long muzzles. These are they're not the shadow mastiffs that you've seen before. And they look almost solid until they actually get close enough to you to pass through, and then they shift and sort of swirl, and the mist scatters from them as they do. They never mix together. And while in that dissipated form, it passes through the rest of the group. No adverse effects to you two, because you saved.
Can we attempt?
Do they reform past us?
Do you want to attempt to do what, Michael?
I was going to attempt, to smack them as they pass.
Yeah, you can roll. Both
right.
of you would get an attack of opportunity to it.
We might as well.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well. Okay. And I will also do this as a booming blade thing.
All right. Thank you. Actually, booming blade will hit it.
Oh, nice.
So
Alright.
the dog that passes through Davynn, obviously your mace passes through yours, Xylund, but the booming blade catches the hindquarters of the hound closest to Davynn, since it's skittering back up against one wall, and even though it still looks completely see-through, it hits like a solid object and sinks to the floor while the rest of the pack passes through. Yeah, it seems whether it's dead or stunned, you're not entirely sure, but it is now opaque as the rest of the pack slides through. The stag itself has decided to, those of you who are behind Davynn and Xylund and not hitting shadow dogs, the stag has started to run towards the wrought iron door / stone wall that was closed to you. And a split second before it gets there, it twists itself into a bird, a large bird, massive wingspan, and flies through. And so I need everyone in the back who is not Davynn or Xylund to do a dex save.
Uh-oh.
Are they close enough to get my
I'm
bonus
horrible
as
at these.
Yes, they would. Yes, chapel is not large, so
Okay.
they are definitely close enough
13.
to get the
So
bonus.
plus 2 to that.
13.
All right.
Should I be
Lily's not
rolling
great at
Mushnik on
dex
these?
saves.
Yeah, go ahead and roll Mushnik and Kern.
I feel bad saying
All
that
right,
now that I
Kern.
see his ex.
Hey, Kern!
It's funny though. All the end saves are going to Davynn and Xylund, while all the dex saves are going to Lily.
All right, 8 points of damage. This would be bludgeoning damage to Mushnik. Everybody else is fine.
Now he's
so,
just down to 88 hit points.
I know, like he's
The
gonna
hell?
be so upset by that. So yeah, as the bird form goes through the wall, it bursts it behind it, sending rock flying, hitting you, but really only knocking Mushnik up the head a little bit. Everyone else seems to be okay, ducking and covering as the hounds continue through, and now through the open wrought iron door into the rest of the hall.
Before they disappear, can I fire off a spell?
Yeah,
Or
you
is
can
that-
attack of opportunity. So
Well, because normally attack of opportunities you can't use magic unless you have Warcaster.
well then you couldn't use a spell
Okay.
because it would qualify as an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Well, damn.
Are we chasing after the thing? Are
I
we
think
chasing
so.
after the elk bird?
That sounds like something we
Yeah,
do.
let's go.
Yep,
Let's do
let's
it.
go.
All right, so top speed. The crew is hauling ass out the door with renewed vigor. Cat straggling behind.
We'll come back for you.
Your little druid also not terribly quick. But the pack continues on down. You can still hear the baying of dogs. You can still, hear everything that they're doing. You can hear the nails against the stone. You can kind of see the swish of the tail as they round the corner, then head back along a long stretch of the same blue stone. The light that was in the chapel is completely gone now. It's dark. It's completely dark again. And for a while, as you're going down the long length after you turn the corner, this long hallway, you can see a little bit of light coming from what might be the stag/bird, but even it disappears after a while, leaving only the blue cast. As you guys go full throttle all the way down until you hit another turn to the north. So basically this follows the contour of the first hall that you were in, which would jibe with your memory of the old castle, Xylund.
Okay.
Sort of these nested halls. And as you make your right-hand turn, once again, instead of a blank wall greeting you, there is an open set of doors. No sign of the dogs, although you can still hear them barking. No sign of the bird. No sign of the light from the bird. Just these open doors.
Shall we wait for Cat to catch up?
Yeah. Well, we'll wait for Gayle and them to
Yeah.
catch up.
They're not far behind. The little, your Lightbringer with her staff sort of bobbles behind a little bit. You can see her coming. She's pretty close though, so it doesn't take long for the rest of them to come up. What would you like to do?
Let's go in.
Yep.
All right.
It's gonna shut in her face.
Alright.
By the way, Noel, just in response, so from what I gathered from Erie, it's another hallway that starts from the chapel and follows the contours of the first hallway in this sort of nested corridor fashion.
Considering I've been using entirely right angles, that doesn't fit in super well, so I'm just starting a new one. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We know how it all connects.
It'll be okay. Yeah.
I have a little
okay.
star that
Also, it
indicates
could
where the
all
old one
change.
connects to the first one.
So you enter the room, and this room is a massive art studio. It actually is easily twice the size of the chapel, and almost as large as the library. There is a set of doors along the left-hand wall that are shut, and the rest of the room is fairly cluttered with easels and potter's wheels and sort of the flotsam of an arts and crafts type room. There's clay and bits of wood in the back. In the center of the room there is a pedestal. Sort of looks like a sundial. And scattered around the room are all these little tables and stools where individual artists may have sat and worked. At the far end there is a lightly glowing figure. Totally transparent. You can see the wall behind her. She is medium height. She wears fairly old-fashioned clothing, a long robe with long sleeves. What might be an apron over the top of it. 1 second.
This is the art sister.
I want to try and match this figure with my memory of the statue in the throne room.
Anyone want to play Dragon Chess?
Sure. That's what happened last time.
Like, it's like time is actually just frozen for
Yeah.
everybody, for everything around the party.
Dang it, I'm actually
Beat
gonna
that.
lose.
Beat that. Oh, I'm so close.
That
I
means
can
it's
see
a
defeat.
very close and nail-biting game in which
Yeah.
Xylund barely pulls ahead at the end.
That's more luck that I wasted on Dragon Chess, though. Like, the rolls we've been
Are
getting...
you guys playing Dragon Chess?
yeah.
We
Maybe?
sort of just
Sorry.
assumed that there was this
Sorry.
little bubble of time flowing for us,
Sorry.
but everything around it was frozen.
Sorry. Okay.
It was a nail-biter of a
beat
game,
me.
though. Look.
I see that. I see that. Aren't you still missing pieces in your Dragon Chess set?
Well, I've got coins and stuff that I use instead.
Yeah, it just makes the game interesting.
Okay.
Lana's
Yeah.
just not gonna
The
ask
coin
why
has a
rest have
special
tooth
ability
marks
where
anyway.
every time you have to try to take something with it, you have to flip a coin, and on a tails, and
Is that how
that
it
coin
goes?
gets taken instead.
God.
Alright.
We play checkers chess.
Now,
yes. The figure at the end, she's again fairly old-fashioned clothing, long gown, hair tied back. She might have an apron over her clothes, but since she's semi-transparent, it's hard to tell. She's not terribly old. Probably no older than early 30s. And she appears to be pregnant, just from her general stance and body. So,
can I compare her face, hair, style of clothes, and compare it with my memory of any of the statues in the throne room? Specifically the one of Veneres?
you can roll an in check if you want, yeah.
I absolutely will do that. Alright, and don't screw me now.
So if she was the last queen,
Wow!
what happened to her kid?
Thanks for taking all the luck, Xylund.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Nah,
She died pregnant.
Oh, okay.
The crack
Aw.
hit before her baby was born, which is why she was the last queen of
So this is
Greylock.
pretty, almost definitely her ghost or memory or whatever.
Most likely, yes. It would fit what you know of her. She died fairly young. She died during the crack. She was attempting to rescue as much of the castle's history as she could. And that was how Nasali was initially invited to rule Greylock. Was she came to the city during the queen's funeral and was able to channel her.
Oh, I have something for this. I drop my
What?
back, rummage in it, and I take out one of my horse drawings, like my best horse drawing.
Oh my goodness.
And I go slowly over to her and offer it, hold it out. I bring something for your collection.
So you approach the figure with your horse drawing?
Yeah, I hold it out so that she can see it as I approach. I say art in case it's not clear.
And the figure does actually reach out and is able to grasp the paper, like can interact with it, and looks at it and smiles, you know, kind of like the "oh, tell me about this picture" smile that parents have sometimes with their little ones.
It's Snowfumps. He's a horse from Gren and Heaven. He's my best friend.
Who's No Pumps?
My best friend from Gren and Heaven.
I don't know a Snow Funks.
Don't be difficult, Davynn.
I'm not trying to be difficult. No, seriously, who's Snow Funks?
So does she seem? I ignore him. Does she seem pleased with the drawing? Or...
She actually does. Like now that you're close up to her, you can see her face a little better, and she actually has a very pleasant expression. She doesn't seem hostile in any way. But yeah, she seems to enjoy the picture. She smiles at it. She sets it down on a table next to her. She kind of makes a sort of a like touch your face kind of gesture, but she doesn't actually touch you. And with her other arm, she makes a broad sweep of the room. And you can all hear it very much in your heads. Very similar to the laughter, very similar to when Kat talks to you as well. And it's a very soft voice. But it says, "Bring me art that is sordid."
Sorted.
And then she
Sorted.
points to the sundial looking thing in the center of the room, and a little light pops out from underneath, like just under it, so that it's lit.
Now, was that sorted with a T or sorted with a D? Because that really changes the meaning.
If you want sorted art, I've got a couple Jack
I
Dangerous
learned
books.
so many songs from Ulrich back in. I can, if it's sorted with a D.
Yeah, Xylund's got a vivid imagination. He can come up with something.
Like, that's...
But like, actually,
Let's take a look
which
at the
one was
art,
it?
though.
Yeah, let's look at the art that's in the room.
I think you're.
And also, I guess the sundial, for that matter.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So which is it?
Are you going to ask her?
Oh, we have to ask her. You're not going to clarify?
Well, the question I heard was, is it sorted with a T or sorted with a D?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you asking her that question?
Let's
I
not.
think,
Let's
I
just
think we were,
assume
I
it's
think we were asking
sorted.
you that question.
Well, I'm not going to answer that
Excuse me, is that sorted with a D or sorted with a T?
She's not going to
Just
answer that
wanted to
question
be
either.
Clear. Okay. Hi, also, my name is Davynn from Whitfeld. Nice to meet you. I think I know who you are, but also, I just learned about you, like, a couple minutes ago.
I'm not with these people. Don't let them ruin my ghost cred, please.
Ghost cred. All right. So, how would you like to go about this?
I guess we'll look at the art.
Yep.
And Lily's gonna just take a quick glance at the sundial. Does it appear to be like counting down?
No. It is flat. It's almost like a filled-in bird bath. And in the top part of it, there are 3 indentations in a line. They've got sort of an octagonal base to them, and they're fairly shallow indentations.
Hmm.
Okay. Alright, what about the art?
Looking around the room, most of the art is still kind of raw materials, but there are these small statues, little statuettes, like you'd see on your grandma's shelf or mantle. They seem to be figures in various scenes. There are 9 of them total throughout the room. I can describe them to you if you would like.
Let's test my ability to take minutes. Let's go.
Let's do this.
All right. As you go around collecting your statuettes, you find a warrior with a great sword, 2-handed. You see a sailor that's throwing an anchor. Looks like he might be standing on a dock of some kind. There is a very regal-looking woman with a highly elaborate fan in her hand. There is a stable hand that is brushing down a horse. You don't see the tail or the head of the horse. It's just the body. That's sort of where the statue cuts off, but he's brushing down the side. There is a man with like a counting abacus in his hand, surrounded by small boxes. There is a warrior with a spear high over his head, like he's about to throw it. There's a man who is lighting a gas lamp with a long sort of taper. There is a third warrior, this one with a massive great bow. And the last one is 2 lovers, man and a woman, that are embracing. They're totally intertwined with one another. That's the only finished art in this room.
Do these statues have a base of any given shape?
They do. They have octagonal bases. All of them do.
Well, and I guess they go into the sundial.
There were symbols on the sundial. Sorry, I was coughing. A bunch of coffee went down the wrong way.
No, there weren't any symbols. There were just the 3 indentations in a line.
Oh, okay.
Did they seem to match up to any like given times on the sundial?
No, they go straight down. There's no writing or rune marks or anything along the outside. That's just the general shape of the pedestal. But there's no
Okay.
writing. There's no numbers. Nothing like that. And the indentations go straight across horizontally through the center.
Okay.
Can we
Wait,
turn
I
this
learned this in
sundial?
math class. How many ways can you pick 3 from a group of 9?
What
That's
did
how
you
many
say,
permutations we
Silence?
have.
How many?
I think there's a lot of ways you can pick 3 from 9.
400, 452.
Thank
That
you.
was fast.
I think. Yeah. Maybe a bit more.
There's lots.
We could take psychic damage every time we screw it up, though, or something like that.
I'm not saying we try to run through all 500-ish permutations. It's just a last resort.
Oh, asked if we could turn the sundial.
Oh no, it's one solid piece.
Okay.
It seems to just stay where it is.
Any clues, Your Majesty?
Looking back at her, she starts to frown at you slightly.
Sorry, I have another picture of a horse. I rummage in my pack, pull another picture of a horse. Pass it to her. It's not as good as the first one, but it's alright.
She accepts the second picture
Of horse.
of a horse. And let me roll something real quick.
Oh no.
All right.
Alright,
Maybe I
so
addressed her wrong. A queen is Your Majesty, isn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be appropriate. Yeah.
So about this puzzle. I'm just trying to
How-
prompt the rest of you. I don't have any ideas.
Yeah. How are we meant to sort these? Do you think? Like in chronological order of how they were made, in chronological
It's-
order of what they represent.
It seems like a pick 3 situation with the 3 indentations.
Right.
Or maybe the 3 are unrelated to bringing them to her. Maybe the 3 are meant to help us find what the sorting order is.
Yes.
Are there any symbols on the base or anything like that?
The base of.
Of these statues?
Oh no.
Maybe we should just try 3 of them, see what happens.
What about any symbols on the underside of the sundial? Or is it
No.
just like a pedestal
No.
type deal?
It just looks like a pedestal. It's carved. I mean, it's decorated, but it just seems to be decorated. It's got kind of a vine motif to it, and like it looks pretty fancy, but there's no discernible writing or any real image to it. It just seems to be pretty.
Yeah, we can't hear you next. Oh, he's
Yeah.
gone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah, I thought he stepped away for a second.
Oh,
Moshi Moshi? Hello, hello?
hello,
He's dead.
hello.
Can't hear you next.
And he was never heard from again.
No,
Nope.
Lily got hit with paralysis.
The one with the int score is Ghost Silent.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
puzzle.
So do we want to just make our best random guess and see what happens?
Sure, there's either 1 in 84 or 1 in 504 chance that it's right. Assuming that's how this puzzle works, which is
we can
not
wait
safe.
until Next gets back, because apparently he had ideas.
Next has ideas, so
Well,
it's totally up to you guys what you want to do.
I think our first attempt is going to fail, no matter how brilliant his ideas are. So let's just get that out of the way before he gets back.
Okay, this is the pancake you feed the dog. Is that what
God.
you're saying?
Because running off the theory that art appeases this, I'm just gonna start playing something while this happens.
Okay.
just in case.
Davynn will take out a play
That's
by his
29.
dad and start reciting it.
So you're making me do
I'll
this while you
accompany him.
guys.
Yep, we are bracing for what happens.
Kern will help you.
Oh, yeah, great. Thanks, great.
So will Mushnik.
Oh, great. Yeah, if Mushnik's helping, then you can't possibly go wrong, because he...
Nah, the thing
is
about
a
sorting
man of
orders
world.
is you never quite
No.
know exactly how they go and what order they should be
I
going in.
once
You
had a
could be
problem
sorting
like
it
these
in...
with my socks.
He would say something like that.
So, okay, do I recognize these two lovers from any of the other statues?
Any
Like-
other statue?
Like, is it a particular statue and another particular statue entwined in that last statue?
Not that you can tell. Again, they're sort of they're embracing, they're sort of making out, so their faces are kind of smushed anyway. But it's nothing that you recognize offhand.
Maybe if
Testing.
Hello, welcome
Hey.
back.
Oh,
Hi.
thank goodness. Okay, so I'm not gonna repeat what I kept trying to say over and over again, not realizing that you couldn't hear me. So the way I see it, there are a few different methods for sorted, right? It could be sorted by type, in which case things like the three warriors are three commonalities. It could be sorted as in differences, such as like different stations, sailor, man with abacus, regal woman. But we also have to consider what the queen would have preferred as a patron of the arts. Like what would she have valued most? I'm gonna say three warriors, just simply because there's three of them.
Yeah, let's do that first. That's a
Maybe
good
we have to
thought.
find 3 groups of 3. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. There are 9 total.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, like, yeah, 3 warriors. I think start there.
Okay. So you do you place them in any particular order?
Okay, well, the sword
I
is
think-
two-handed, so maybe
Can
that-
we?
I think
well,
the
let's do it.
archer should be archer at the back, spearman second, warrior at the front, because that's how it would actually go in a battle.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
good
sense.
idea.
Well, it's a single line across from left to right. It goes horizontally
Oh.
across the pedestal, so they're all in the same line.
Damn it.
Is there a particular way going by the symbols on the pedestal that indicate which way it should be read? Like if it was script?
Mm-mm.
Like, is there?
There's no script. There's
Okay,
no.
how about-
There's no writing. There's no
How
nothing.
about we put the guy with the great sword in the middle, because the guy with the great sword is usually the hero in the stories, and then flanking him are his two buddies, the guy with the bow and the guy with the spear.
I think maybe
Yep.
Lily might be right with her theory there. I hate to say Davin.
Let's just arbitrarily assign one end to be the front and the back for now.
Yeah, and then we can swap it around
Okay.
if we get hit with
Left is
psychic
front.
damage.
Let's go.
Okay, left is front. So you're going great sword, spear, archer.
Yep.
Did you die again, Nex?
No, I'm just looking at the Seven Sisters and just
Okay.
seeing if there's anything further that might be a clue.
All right. Just check.
Okay. Roll a wisdom save, everyone, please.
God damn it.
Oh dear.
Ah, shit.
Oh, everyone
Aw,
gets the
shit.
+2 though.
Yeah, don't forget.
Whee!
18 then.
My first one was for Davin. Second one's for Kern.
Wow!
Of course, that's
Yeah.
Kern's.
Oh, right, Mushnik. I forgot about him.
Yeah, Emma Schneck. Who should be decent because he's a druid. There
He's
we go.
fine.
Okay. Davin, you will take 4-point psychic damage as our gracious queen looks at the pedestal and opens her mouth to let out a horrifying, bone-shattering scream that just echoes through your noggin.
Okay.
And so, yeah, Davin takes damage, and you hear Kat in the back. It sounds like she just fell flat on her butt.
Yeah,
Okay.
she just heard that times 8.
So, last Queen of Greylock, in her short role, she was known as a patron of the arts, believing them to be the one unifying force in the world, and she collected art from all cultures and all walks of life. I think that's important.
I'm gonna go make sure Kat's still alive.
Okay.
That's entirely fair.
Yeah, Kat's not looking great. She did end up on her butt.
Help her up.
Basically, yeah, she sort of caught herself on some stacked easels in the back. But yeah, she is leaning against the wall. It looks like she's got blood coming out of one of her ears.
So
I
are
assume
these...
it doesn't help if I put a silence on you.
No.
Perhaps you should drop the link, at least for the time
Ow.
being.
It doesn't help her, that just helps us.
She can drop.
Well,
the link.
no, it would prevent her from hearing it 8 times.
She hears our thoughts no matter what, I believe.
She can. But she'll drop the link anyway.
Maybe step
Um,
out for this one?
Well, she's not going to go too far. Like, she doesn't.
That tracks.
Kind of needs you guys alive.
That's fair.
Okay.
And she can't let the druid die.
All of this
So-
follows.
Collected art from all cultures and all walks of life, believed art to be the one unifying force. I think that's important.
Well, it might be, but are there any cultural signifiers saying that these are from different cultures? These statues? Like any fashion choices or whatever?
Well, there's also the all walks of life bit. We have a regal woman with a fan in her hand. That could be someone from the aristocracy or noble.
Yeah.
A man with a abacus surrounded by small boxes could be a merchant or a government official. And then we have three separate statues of someone who would be from the working class. The man lighting a gas lamp, sailor throwing an anchor, stable boy brushing down a horse. The two lovers intertwined is the only one that doesn't seem to be related.
I could see that one fitting in with the woman and the guy with the abacus, because that's both, I don't know, somewhat fancy.
They seem
maybe-
like they'd hook up.
Yeah, maybe the, hold on, wait. Back up? Lana?
Yeah?
Who seems like they would hook up?
It was a joke. Continue.
Oh. Okay, gotcha.
I don't know. He could be, the small boxes could be like a merchant ship sort of deal, linking him with the sailor.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Well, we could try sorting it based on position or societal position. We can have the regal woman and then one of the soldiers from that class, and then somebody from the working class.
I think before we put any more statues in, we should maybe... Do these doors close to this chamber? Eerie?
They were open when you got here. They appear to just be standard hinged doors. There's two of them. It's a double door. You guys have not tried to close them. Nobody has tried to close them yet.
Because I think maybe we should decide on what we're going to do, and then everyone but me leaves the room, shuts the doors, and then I'll actually move them around.
Wait, why you?
Because I have a mind like a steel thing.
Maybe we should have like Mushnik or Kern do it.
Erie,
Yes.
you said that these were the only finished, and the majority of it just seemed to be like the
Raw material. Like
raw material.
clay and canvas that's either been painted on and discarded or is unpainted. There's no painting supplies in here, and there are potter's wheel, but they seem to be broken.
Is there anything half formed or half made that might depict at least something of an image?
Not really. Everything that's in here is either destroyed or raw materials. So there's not a whole lot going on. Anything like the canvases that have begun to rot away, they're in such a state of decay and destruction that you couldn't tell what they were to begin with.
Okay. I'm gonna take before we start, because we really don't have anything clear enough. I'm gonna take a closer look around the room, see if I can find any other clues of any kind.
Okay, you can roll investigation.
What
Okay.
is with me and the shitty rolls?
Because you guys
We're
rolled
stealing
below.
them.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
stealing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
everybody else is
Burned
stealing
him on
all
dragon
of my
chest,
good
sorry.
rolls.
Yeah, looking around the room, most of what's in here would be considered garbage. Other than the statuettes, those look new. At least compared to everything else, they're not rotted. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything salvageable in here, other than the raw materials like raw clay, things like that. But you wouldn't have any way to shape it.
There has to be some further clue. Art that is sorted is... There's too many ways to apply that.
Why don't we try sorted by social order at least to, give that a shot, and maybe if that's not right, then we'll start thinking about other things.
Okay.
Alright, so we're all
Yeah.
agreed that the regal woman probably is the aristocracy and should be at the top of whatever order, yes?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the bottom could be any of the workers, the sailor, the man lighting the lamp, the stable hand.
I think
but
stable
what should
hand
go...
is probably the most bottom.
Yeah.
Alright, so he'll be last. And then what should go in the middle? Warrior or the man with the abacus?
I think a warrior
said-
since we got 3
yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
And the man with the abacus could be like a government official, which would still be pretty high up there.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does seem to fit more with the working class. If most likely some kind more of a clerk than higher up official. So warrior sounds good, yes. Which one?
Spear,
Sure.
I think. That's the most normal of them all.
Great. Well, the great
Greatsword's
sword
kind of
might
like a-
indicate knight.
I suppose, but yeah, we could do either.
Spear sounds
Alright.
good.
Alright, so are we only gonna have one person in the room then?
Yeah, I'll do it. You guys go outside and close the doors.
Okay.
We could have Kern do it instead. He's got a
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Bomb
Or Lucian,
wisdom
who has hit
save,
points
yeah.
and whiz for days.
Also, Sid isn't here though.
yeah, fair.
But
And
You
neither is
can use
Clinky.
their characters as hit point sacks. That's what happens.
Xylund
with
is
this.
willing to do it, and I'm here though.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
let's
let Simon do
just
it.
not at this
All right. And so, Xylund, you're gonna do this?
Sure, I'll make sure the doors are closed before I do it.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to close the doors. Fine. The queen looks mildly disappointed.
I give her a
Okay.
charming smile, and I will use my charisma to do so.
Oh no!
Oh, so it's not super charming.
Are you?
It is moderately
using
charming.
Pardon?
The whisper I sent you.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm applying
Okay.
it
All right.
to make it slightly more charming.
All right. She does not appear impressed.
Okay.
So what order and what statues?
Well, we were gonna do the regal fan woman on one end,
Okay.
the spear guy in the middle, and the stable boy on the other end.
Okay. All right. Since you're the only one here. Eight psychic damage as the queen
No save even?
wails. No.
Okay.
Guys, we're bad at this.
So I open the doors looking a little bit more haggard than when I closed them. So that was a bad idea.
Okay, take it that didn't work.
No.
Did we want to try the warrior with the greatsword, or perhaps the lovers intertwined?
I think we need to give this a lot more thought before we try it again and be really confident that we're gonna get it.
The problem is, perhaps there's another.
Let's try talking to the queen a bit more.
She didn't really seem like she wanted to talk.
No, but she likes those horse
Get
drawings.
that T versus D thing sorted out, because we might still be going down.
Well, there's only one statue that might be sworded. The others would not. I don't think that is what's.
She's a high-class lady. She doesn't want sordid with a D statues.
I find it's the high-class ladies who tend to want the sworded.
And
There's also
you're
another
speaking from
statue
personal
that is
experience?
sworded, as in it has a sword.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yes, but again, only one of those has a sword, and sworded isn't
Wait,
the word, Davynn.
we've got one that's sorting, we've got one with a sword, and we've got one that's sworded. If
Oh
this
my
is just
God.
one big pun,
Oh,
It
I
is a
think we
pun.
should try those.
I'm
three.
gonna try
Motherfucker.
those three. Let's try those three.
Wait, everyone else get out of the room!
No, wait. No one leave the room. If
Okay.
if we all stay, I feel like it gets spread out a bit more. If one person stays here, they're gonna get the full brunt of her disappointment.
That's fair.
That's brilliant, though. Well done. Well thought out.
Okay, we'll try those three.
But sworded isn't a word.
It's fine! We're making
All
it
right.
work.
So you're putting in what
The
order?
warrior with the sword, the lovers, and the
Who are
man with the
sworded.
abacus.
Should we do it in alphabetical order or?
Why not? Can't
Well,
hurt.
there's not really an alphabetical order for them.
Well, it would be sorted with a D, sorted with a T.
Oh,
and then
yeah, I guess.
Sorted.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I think when this doesn't work, we should try the.
We take 40 this time for being uppity.
All right. So placing the statues,
Yes.
and the queen, when you are finished placing them, she looks up, she claps her hands,
What?
Are you kidding me?
smiles broadly, and laughs, and sweeps one of her, long sleeves towards the door off to one side, the one that was closed when you guys entered, and lock. You can hear the lock kind of click, and it opens on its own, leading to another blue-palled area of the castle. The room within the art studio all lights up, so that it's lit naturally and normally. And the figure of the queen becomes more solid for just a moment, as if she's an actual person standing there and not just an apparition of her former self. And you can see, the dark brown hair and the braid, and she is quite pregnant. And again, she sort of claps her little hands and wisps away.
Did she take my horse drawings?
The horse drawings are indeed gone,
Okay.
as are the
Gary?
rest of the statuettes. Yes.
Please tell me we just accidentally solved the puzzle and it
Yeah.
wasn't the fact that it was puns.
No, it was puns. It was for sure
It was-
puns.
it was
Ghosts love
puns.
puns. That's what we're taking from this. That's the lesson here.
She gave you a pun.
Ghosts are punsters.
That explains a lot. It all makes sense in hindsight.
That's why she
Oh,
didn't
man.
say which one it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
We-
that's why
we
she
had-
wouldn't answer your question.
We stumbled
Oh,
across the answer in our first stupid little joke. And
Yeah, I know. You guys hit it originally, and then you talked yourselves out of it. No, it was a joke. It was all just a joke for her own amusement.
God damn it,
Amazing.
stupid queens.
We nearly
If
killed
you're
the
listening
cat
to
because
this,
we didn't go with the pun
He
first.
doesn't mean it. He's just frustrated.
No,
We love you, queens.
But that's the thing, is we decided not to do the pun first because it seemed like such a silly idea.
Ugh.
Keep this in mind in the future when I attempt to polymorph the boss into a turtle. Moving on.
Don't overthink things. It's probably the simplest solution. Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
Another
Well, the
news,
door's
I'm going
open.
to
Let's
take-
keep going.
I'll be gone for 2 minutes. I managed to injure myself during the course of this.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get a band-aid. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Guess who managed to carve a 4-inch long scrape onto their back during the course of that puzzle?
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
How?
I bent down to plug in I clambered off my chair to plug in my laptop, and then when I stood up, my desk has this horrible metal corner from
Ooh.
hell, and I stood up, top speed, and now I have a fair bit of blood on my shirt, actually.
Oh gosh.
And
Ow.
then I solved the puzzle. Pain is gain.
Apparently.
Pain is temporary.
Yeah.
All right.
Pun is forever.
Yeah, my roommate ran over because I screamed.
No.
To
Okay.
talk is a good thing, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, having completed the harrowing challenge of Queen and Eris,
Love puns.
It must be said.
the lovely and talented Queen and Eris, you go through the now open door. Your options here are actually pretty straightforward. To the left, down the hall, is a wall. Down the right, there's a wall. And directly in front of you are the open doors of the dining room.
Ha! Straightforward. Ha!
What?
Erie said the way ahead is actually pretty straightforward, and
Because it's
the only way
straightforward.
we can go is straightforward.
Is this just... did we stumble into pun hell?
I'm telling you, I had
Pun
a lot of
heaven.
fun making this
Welcome.
first section.
Also,
to the Punder
I'm
world.
labeling the map, and
Punder
instead of
world.
writing dining hall, I actually just wrote the word straight.
Yeah.
Not consciously. It just is what... Fixing that.
This is pun heaven, Noel. Get your
Sure.
location right.
Punderland.
Yeah, Punderland's my favorite, actually.
Yeah, Punderland.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna go poke the walls to the left and right just before we go straight forward. Just to
Okay.
make sure. Yeah, I'm with my
They-
sword.
They appear to be solid. It's the same blue cast as the other hallways that you've been down, but they seem to be solid enough.
Okay. Let's go to the dining hall then, I guess.
Do we still hear the baying of the hounds?
No, you don't hear the baying of the hounds. You do hear some of the sort of ambient castle sounds that you guys had been listening to when you first arrived are a little stronger here. It sounds like there are sort of people in other rooms that you can't quite see. It doesn't sound menacing or anything like that. It just sounds like, pots and pans dropping and conversations just on the edge of your periphery. It's actually kind of strangely comforting and disquieting at the same time, because you can't see anybody, you can only hear them. But you don't hear any baying of dogs or any chewing on doors or anything like that.
Okay. And I'm assuming any sounds coming from the dining room are going to include like the clatter of forks and stuff on plates.
Yeah, all very natural sounds. You can't quite see anybody, but yeah, it's a little louder here than it was when you first arrived in the castle. But yeah, very natural sounds of setting the table and folks having supper and the light strain of music in the background, that sort of thing.
Guys,
Go
I'll
ahead.
continue. Alright.
I'm gonna
Guys,
poke my head.
oh, never mind.
Damn it.
Go ahead,
Go.
Davynn, you first.
Alright, fine. A thought arises if one of the Seven Sisters is around, then perhaps this guy isn't completely in control of this place after all.
No,
Yeah.
I think they're helping us in their own fucked up way.
Yeah.
And she
They're in a
also
power
appeared to have
struggle.
at least some control over her surroundings, able to open the door here.
So, I guess it's not quite as hopeless as I initially thought.
Yay!
Well, we certainly stand a stronger chance if the Seven Sisters are helping. And I'm gonna poke my head in the dining room.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm walking in there.
Yeah.
All right. I actually have a visual aid.
Addendum.
Oh.
I'm going to make sure Cat is still alive ×2. No! That's a visual aid.
This is visual aid.
It's a battle map. Let's not kid ourselves.
It's a visual aid.
Alright.
It's a
You
visual
say that
battle
every
map.
time, and every time, the visual aid is a visual aid for battle,
It's a visual aid.
for fighting.
Feel free to add yourself to visual aid.
Is it optional to be on the visual aid?
You feel free to incorporate yourself into the visual aid.
God.
We came in this door, didn't we? On the
Yes,
Right.
you are correct. You entered from this location over here. So you can see the expanse of the dining room, which you have been in before. At least some of you have during your first visit with Her Grace Nisali, and it looks very similar to that. There are lit candelabras. The table is completely laid out, full of food on massive platters. There's a big fireplace that's unlit, but there are sconces on the walls. Yes, and it was indeed here. Massive pillars and tapestries hang from the walls where there aren't sconces. All of these chairs, including Asali's chair in the back. So, to the far wall here, there is a doorway that is currently closed, but it is there. So you can still kind of hear that background chatter, although you still don't see anybody. What would you like to do?
I'm pretty sure the table is a mimic, and I kill it.
Yeah.
You want to kill the table?
Let's walk inside.
How about we have current lighthouse mode from the doorway?
Alright, fine. Current lighthouse modes.
I'm gonna look out for any kind of magical traps.
Okay.
I'm gonna start
Lighthouse
casting
mode activated.
ritual casting detect
Yeah,
magic.
I was about to do the same thing, so ditto on that.
Well, we only need one of us. Do you want?
Well, we might as well have two pings up. It's fun.
Okay.
It's a.
Well, I'll
it
let
doesn't
you
use
do
a
it then.
spell slot. I was figuring we could
So-
wander off and do different kinds of ends of
Well,
the
that's
room.
well.
It does follow us. Let's just do magic.
All right. So Kern's perception perceives a dining room full of food.
Sounds legit. Let's walk inside.
I don't trust carpets.
I walk inside.
Does mimic.
Cause mimic.
Lily is fairly suspicious about something here and is gonna hang back a bit.
Okay.
Is there food on the table?
Yes.
Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Is there
Yes.
drink?
Yes. The table is completely set, including goblets, one for water, one for wine. All are filled. Massive plates with a spread similar to what you had the last time you were in Karacht. So mostly meats, but also some fruit.
Oh,
And
it's
Have
been
a
so
bread.
long since we've had a proper meal, honestly.
No, no, Davin,
No.
just
But-
don't.
Does
Okay,
the
fine.
food have a smell, Eerie?
Nothing in here smells.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake. Memory food.
Indeed, Davin. This
At least I can remember being full afterwards.
well, if you pay attention, Davin, you can't smell the food.
Mushnik has good berry in a pinch, but that's a spell slot.
Alright, let's keep on looking.
Okay. Again, this door here is shut and does not open when pulled. As you walk about,
Cont-
this door shuts behind you.
See, if Sid was actually here, he would have stuck something in that door.
He would have put a
Damn
pot.
it,
He
yeah,
would've put
yeah,
it
no, he would have used my pot.
Yes, would have used your pot.
Are
Most
we in the
useful
same-
pot ever.
Were Cat and Druid and Gayle on the other end of the door?
Yeah, no. Cat and the druid and Gayle are inside with you. I just haven't put them on the
Gotcha.
board.
All right,
Cat's pretty well useless at this point. Gayle is basically her crutches, and the druid is not allowed to fight.
Is this
Okay.
a fireplace over here?
Yes, this is a fireplace,
Davin,
unlit.
Does it have a chimney?
get up
it-
the chimney.
Yeah, same thing.
In
What?
theory.
No.
Can I-
Do you
will
remember what
take a
happened last time?
Yes, you came
Nothing.
back as future Davin. He's exactly what we need right now.
We have never suffered any consequences for climbing up a chimney.
Can I look around on the walls of this place, like stuff, like what's here and like all over?
These are just big pillars that have been built
Okay.
into the stone.
And is there
Um,
anything in between the sconces behind
There
me?
are tapestries hanging from the ceiling, but they are just the colors of Greylock. They're the kind of the steel blue and the white and the gray of Greylock. They have the symbol of Greylock on there,
Okay.
But otherwise there's no pictures or anything like that.
Okay. So the entire room is within 30 feet of me at the moment.
Yeah.
I pull out the Wand of Secrets. I give it a swish and a flick. Very, very arcane, and let it do its magic.
It doesn't seem to indicate any particular secret.
Alright, no
Uh,
secret
I think
passages, all
detect
traps.
magic would have procced by now.
Yes. Yeah, this whole room.
Yep.
This whole room absolutely reeks of transmutation magic.
Oh boy, that's worse than I thought.
It's actually the digestive tract of a dragon, guys. We just walked into its mouth.
You might
Oh, I'm sticking my head up to look around this chimney, because someone's gotta.
be. Okay.
I was just about to sigh and do that.
Hold Devin's hand.
All
We
right.
both put our head up the chimney.
Yes.
All right. Head up the chimney. It does go up a little bit into darkness, but you don't feel like you don't see any light coming down. You don't feel any air. It doesn't smell any different. It seems to be pretty closed.
I've got dark
Um,
vision. Can I see a top?
No, it just looks like darkness to you.
Okay.
So you don't see any blockages, but like I said, you also don't you don't feel any cold or heat or change in the air.
I could levitate you up there, Davin.
Possibly.
So-
While our heads are stuck in the chimney, I'd like to whisper to her. So, you seem really concerned about Kat.
Yeah, of course. She looks like she's dying.
Yeah, but like extra concerned.
She's bleeding out her ears.
Well,
Yes,
I get.
yes, but shush.
Okay, fine. Just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
So Erie, considering I am somewhat specialized in transmutation magic, is
Yes.
there any way I can figure out, knowing that this place is bathed in it, what spell or spells may have been used? at all?
Not without either seeing the spell or like seeing runes or anything like that. Like it could be anything. You really don't know.
Okay, well, I would like to, if Identify would work on a room, I'll use that. If not, I'll just use, I'll just look for runes.
Yeah, you can see if you can see a glyph or something like that. That's absolutely
Okay.
fine if you want to roll an investigation.
Ah, finally, not terrible.
Not terrible, no.
I mean, it was
Uh,
still a 7.
Not bad, not bad. So there's nothing on the walls. The pattern on the rug looks pretty normal. And then you get to a chair. And on the back side of these chairs, what might have looked, with a casual glance, like it was just, symbol of Greylock, is actually a set of intertwined runes. It is an animation spell.
Oh, these are all gonna come to life if we touch them.
I just found an animation spell. Is that on all? Is it the same on all the chairs?
It is the same on all chairs.
This is something I can cast, actually.
But
let's
it
not do that.
on the table as well?
It is not a place that. Ooh.
Not actually casting it. I just want. I
Oh,
was trying to
okay.
read
I
it.
didn't even see what spell it was. I was like, oh, holy balls! But that's animated objects. Okay. It from what you can see of the table, unless you plan on crawling underneath it, which you are perfectly welcome to do. You don't see the symbol.
Maybe send Nadali under there.
Nadali
Hey,
is
save
dead.
Oh, right. I forgot that happened.
But we have Nadali.
Vera
Oh!
is an
no,
owl
Oh,
and
so
can't
Nadali
really.
is alive.
No, Nadali is not. Vera is alive and
Okay, don't be difficult about it.
isn't really suited to flying under a table, being that she's an owl.
Owls can waddle. Get it to waddle.
Just have her, like, do a flyby, like, dive down so she doesn't actually have to touch anything while she goes under.
I mean, she can't really pick up anything while she's doing that. Moves too fast.
Or
I know,
But
just take a
I
look.
can just levitate the table.
No, let's
No,
not set
that's-
this. Let's just set this whole
I'm
area
gonna
as a
look
no-go
underneath the
zone.
table.
Mushnik is short. Let's send him. Mushnik,
Sorry,
get
Davyn's
under the
going
table.
under the table, apparently.
I'm going to describe the runes he's looking for if he's going under the table.
Alright, so Davyn's going under the table. What is this?
Graffiti.
This is why you guys aren't allowed to touch anything. I make visual aids and you guys mess them up. You can do that. Or... So Davyn's going under the table, and as Davyn starts to sort of slide in the table, Davyn, while you're under there, you don't see any runes really, but the table does start to shake.
Oh dear.
You can hear the cutlery and the plates begin to rattle. It's actually kind of deafening.
Can I pull him out by the
stone
feet?
room.
Xylund,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
doing that!
I yank his feet out.
All right.
Oh
Davyn
wait,
is
no, you weren't shaking the table.
rescued by Xylund. Davyn, make a dex save.
Okay.
As you get eaten by the
Lily,
table.
you need to make one too, please.
Oh, again with the dex.
Oh, but
Right,
you
I was-
both get
Yeah,
my
I've
bonus.
got a 14 for that.
Yeah, add +2 to that.
16.
Okay. Knives begin to levitate themselves off the top of the table. One flies towards Davyn, one flies towards Lily.
Lily,
they-
as she sees him levitate, starts saying, "Not me!"
They miss and clatter to the ground after hitting the stone wall. But the chairs start to vibrate as well.
Alright, guys, let's see if we can
And-
force this door open.
We will do the thing.
The thing.
What
Alright.
did I say about touching the carpet?
I
Okay.
think it's pretty clear that what we need is lots and lots of fire.
Oh, that's a shitty initiative.
Oh, there goes
Cough.
my luck.
Cough, cough, flamethrower, cough.
Oh yeah! Now is the best time for that, isn't it?
Using it against wooden furniture bound by a glyph, yes.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, I wish I wasn't at the bottom of the initiative order right now.
Is that everybody?
Oh, apparently I'm 2 up from the bottom of the initiative order. And no, I forgot Mushnik, who's also
I was
appears to
gonna
have
say,
disappeared from the
where's
map,
Mushnik?
even though I dragged him over.
Oh,
Mushnik
I guess
don't know
I
what
also-
deleted
Mushnik went.
him.
Mushnik should also have fire.
I think Davin might be on top
He's
of him.
true.
I'm not sure. Oh no.
Yeah, I think I just deleted him.
I see
Oh.
Mushnik.
Oh, he's there now. I've dragged him back over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know where he went.
Also,
And now-
this initiative count, you guys, 5-3-3-2.
With,
I mean,
with
between the two of
Davin
us,
and
we got
Lily
this.
at the Okay, guys, considering my history with initiative rolls, how am I near the top?
Because you guys blew all your critical successes on
Yeah.
stupid stuff at the beginning.
Hey,
but they
Not
all-
how probability
we
works.
destroyed a wall with a T-Rex. That is
That's
not
true.
stupid.
That's
But
true.
they-
That was a
but
good
Eerie,
game.
they also stole all of mine.
True. All right, Davin. Have at it.
All right, these chairs appear to be moving.
Yeah, all the chairs are vibrating. All of the dishes, the cutlery, and the serving platters and everything on top of the table are vibrating. And the candelabras, as well as the wall sconces, have gone from normal candlelight color to blue flame.
Okay, so we are fighting possibly 12 chairs,
Every
unlimited
single
amount
thing
of
in this room.
cutlery.
I have an idea that may or may not be horrible.
Oh dear.
That's exactly what I want to hear right now.
Everyone up the chimney. Davin, you first.
No, not that. It's just if we are fighting 12 separate things plus cutlery, I have something that will affect a 20-foot cube.
Are you shattering things?
No, I don't have shatter.
That sounds
What?
perfect, though.
What I do have is black tentacles.
Ew.
Specifically, a
fair.
bard's black tentacles. And it does damage. And most of it will be covered.
It's 4th
by-
level though. Pick wisely.
I mean, most of it's going to be covered by the table and chairs, so they should all either be bound and or taking damage and or have difficult terrain while you guys wail on them.
That's fair. Your choice.
I mean, Davin's going first, so.
Alright, well, for my part, I'm a little bit confused about what's going on. I've never fought a chair before. So very hesitantly, I will just basically, with the best form that I can
That's the best
muster,
part.
take out my sword and slash at the chair, being very unsure about whether or not this is going to be effective.
Alright, go ahead.
Sword!
Uh,
Sword!
okay. Both of those will hit because it's a chair. And that is 11. So you basically like splinter this chair apart. It's now in pieces. It's got legs and bits, and yeah, it's a hunk of wood now. A sad little hunk of wood, but it's not vibrating anymore.
Okay, that's good. And then otherwise I will wait.
Okay.
Now that I've seen how easy these are to break, I don't think I'm gonna use a 4th level spell on them anymore.
Okay.
Instead, oh no, I'll probably get a attack of opportunity if I try to move.
From like 4 chairs.
Yeah, I don't like this. Okay, so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna do the lamest thing ever and just Ray of Frost that chair.
Okay. Go ahead. Alright, go ahead with your damage.
Oh wait, no, I have an acid bomb. Damn it!
Alright, Ray of Frost, 9 damage cold. You've also managed to bust up that chair pretty good.
It
Is
freezes
there anything
and
else you'd like to do?
shatters. No, unless I can. No, I don't have. I can't throw something as a bonus action.
No.
If I manage to have a next turn, though, I'm gonna do something really awesome.
Yeah, but
Lana, what would you like to do?
I heard use a flamethrower,
Okay.
and so I think that's in order.
Okay.
I have no idea how this flamethrower works. I have just been carrying it since I stole it. But I'd like to attempt to light as much of this on fire as I can.
Oh, alright. Go ahead and basically it's just a ranged attack, so roll it as you would a crossbow.
Gotcha. I think I have one of those in here. I do.
Oh, it's not an area of effect? Damn.
Well, I mean, the initial attack is just
Rah!
which will hit. So you would roll crossbow damage, but you would also roll an extra die 6 for fire. And who was your target?
Yeah, probably table.
The stable here?
Yeah,
Right
in
about
hopes
there?
of, causing a sort of contained wildfire.
Okay, so the table has caught fire. You would also hit this chair as well, since it is in the line of fire, so to
This
speak.
is good.
So now this chair has started to burn and begins to crumble. Mushnik?
Mushnik is gonna spell slots.
Use.
Shillelagh is
Hilary
an
should be a
action, right?
cantrip. Should be a cantrip.
Oh, it's a bonus action. Yeah. So Shillelagh's up so that he can smack
Okay.
things better.
Excellent.
And I have no idea how his poison Shillelagh works, so we're just not going to do that.
Oh,
damn.
shit!
Okay.
As he just wrecks this chair.
So yeah,
apparently.
just bashes the holy hell out of this chair. Okay.
And
then
then
you-
I'm gonna walk away. Talking about how back in his day, he didn't fight chairs so much, except the effort to get out of them.
Kern,
Back
what
in
would
his
you like
day,
to do,
chairs
sir?
didn't fight you.
Yep.
He's beating up a chair with its child.
Yeah, I know. It's really sad.
That's you, Devin. Michael.
Oh, right, yeah, Curran. Let's see. Curran is also a little bit confused as to what to do. So I guess we'll just use cantrips.
Okay.
Sacred Flame on the chair that is immediately next to Lily, I guess.
That
So
one?
yeah, DC 17 dex save,
It's a
assuming
chair.
Yeah, I think we're okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
I think that's it. I can't think of anything else.
Xylund.
I'll go for the table.
Okay.
I'll walk up, whack it with my greatsword.
Whack it. All right.
So those hit?
Oh yeah, it's a table.
Okay, just making sure. 20 slashing.
20 slashing. Holy crap. So you kind of like splinter the table at your end. It doesn't go down the length of it because it's a pretty big, pretty hefty dining room table. But you definitely split the wood for about 5 feet. Yeah, it's also mildly on fire.
Stay down the table.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you get, table. So
How dare you
having
vibrate?
bashed and intimidated and broken these chairs, the ones that have been splintered and or lit aflame shake even more violently, spin themselves up in little cyclones in the air, and sort of mush.
Are they becoming one bigger chair?
Not a bigger chair.
But we destroyed their runes.
So the ones that you kill, I will take those off the board. I'm trying to remember which one you guys got. You marked them and then you stopped
that
marking.
one.
All right.
I'm sorry,
And
I
that
realized they weren't dead, so I stopped marking up.
Oh no, you're fine. Okay. So
And the table.
yeah, the table's on fire. Yeah, I know that. Table's on fire. So the chairs kind of spin themselves up together. They even start to the cutlery that was on the floor that attempted to murder you violently and failed, and a few plates and platters and even some of the food gets pulled up into one of these cyclones. And what ends up landing on top of the table, I will pull him out here.
Bigger chair.
Lazy
I throw-
boy.
I throw an acid bomb.
Is
Ah!
one of
That's really big.
these. Yeah, he's not that big.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's man-sized. He appears to be a conglomeration of wood, plate, and silverware. He is a silverware knight with his trusty platter shield and his knives that have all sort of twisted up into a sword. He appears to be mostly wood, but he's got a fine layer of silver that used to be cutlery that now covers his body. And it's his turn to go. So he smashes this chair. And bits from in front of Lana, and from here, and from the one that he smashed, they start doing their own little circle dance.
Well, that's just not fair.
And he creates himself a friend.
Whoops.
I think we messed up.
Yes.
Nah, it's cool, guys. I got this.
And this dance of smashing continues until all the chairs are dead. Damnable, damnable chairs. Because these guys do have a bit of reach on them, unfortunately.
No worries, they use their entire turn doing so.
They do. Yep, this is all they do for one turn. And when they are finished, get there, little buddy.
Yeah, joke's on them. They're staying on an on-fire table.
Mm-hmm. They are. So here, we now have a small cadre of silverware knights with platter shields and swords ready to go, of sharpened cutlery. And this is where we will end today's adventure. We will pick up this battle from top of the order next session. We will see who will prevail. The Gale Force team or
Pile of chairs.
Fork Force 4 here.
It's cool, guys. I have an acid bomb. Wood and metal don't like acid.
I'm just gonna keep lighting things on fire.
Real talk, this is like exactly what Davynn is used to because he had play fights at dinner all the time with Will.
Real talk though.
He knows
like,
exactly how to use platters as a shield.
Real talk though. Gale Force with a Gale instead of Gayle. Totally a optional name for us.
I like Gale Force with a Y, personally.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that makes
why.
it sound like
Gale
we
is
do
like-
everything for Gale, and Gale doesn't really want much to do with us.
He came with us. I didn't even have to really twist his arm to make him come with us. He loves us deep down. Way deep down.
I was about to say so deep that you can't really even see it.
Yeah.
What's with the ooze?
I literally 2 weeks ago was in a session where we went into a dining room, much like this one, and the thing that mauled us was ooze that had been pretending to be the liquids.
No.
So I've been screaming ooze since we walked in here.
No ooze, just silverware knights.
Gosh. I can burn those.
So, we'll see.
I will try.
We can try.
I can certainly melt them. By the way, Erie, I did have a question.
Yes.
Those bombs of acid,
Yes.
what's the radius on them?
They're like any. They're just like the acid bomb from the Artificer's kit. So I think it's just a point to point for that. I think it's just
Oh, really?
5 foot. Yeah. Because it's not a
So-
grenade. I think it's just like a jar of acid. So it would be point to point as opposed to your grenade that has a radius.
That's lame. That's like my vial of acid. Does it at least do more damage than my vial of acid?
Well, it's a larger amount, yeah. So it would do
Okay.
double damage, but it is point to point. I don't think it has any splash to it.
Splash is acid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Erie. You've been making a lot of puns, either accidental or intentional tonight.
No, they're all intentional. They're all intentional.
Hey.
This whole first section is designed to lull you into
entire
a false
fun
sense of
puzzle.
security, and then it's going to get real quick. So
Oh no.
it's going to be great.
So this is the nice, easy section.
Yeah.
When the puns stop is when we know we need to
Is
be
when we're due.
Yes.
Considering I physically injured myself during this section, I'm a little worried.